Finally, a beautiful win by the Utah Jazz. You'll love to see it. Tatum, Tyson, Christopher, Dallin. Yeah, it got too close at the end. What was it, 35-19 in that fourth quarter? Definitely could have lived without that. Without all of that. But we saw production. Let's see. Is nothing working? All right, cool. How you gentlemen doing? It was a blowout in our book. Mine as well. We just didn't hold the lead like we should have. But at the end of the day, I never felt like the game was in danger. It shouldn't have came with inside of 10 points. But we're accepting of that. Talk to me. What we said. Been great seeing Taylor Hendricks get minutes. Yep. Much needed experience and quality games, quality competition. THT and Sexton turned into LeBron and D-Wade. Yo, Sexton been that guy. You just got to let him start. THT definitely stepped his game up. Now, admittedly, his three-point shot disappeared. He was 0 of 6 tonight. But if you take into account just the regular field goals, or excuse me, just 2-point field goals, he was 9 of 13. So that's definitely acceptable. Smash like is always, homie. Oh yeah, for sure. Said Taylor's nice. I like him. Yeah, he has a very high ceiling. It's gonna be hard. Like even his floor is so high to the point where he's gonna be serviceable at so many levels. Keegan Murray, 2024. That's crazy. Fell asleep during the game, so tired. Hey, Logic. It happens, bro. It happens to the best of us. I'm upset they didn't play Kessler in the fourth, wanted to get a triple-double of blocks. How many did he have? He did have 7. Yeah. And the game also wouldn't have got that close. But I understand not wanting to risk that. At the same time, still solid. Fontecchio might actually be pretty good looking. Yeah, that's why I made him his own video. I would never make somebody their own video if they were trash. And he has impressed this season more than I originally anticipated that he would. So he was deserving of it. He said most improved player. Fair. Gone from world's biggest Fontecchio hater to a fan. That's how it works. Seriously, wanted to see Kessler get that rebound, block, triple-double too. That would have been a perfect. This would have been a perfect game for us to see that happen, though. All jokes aside. Do I hate that it's over? A little bit. But overall, we saw some good stuff. Collin Sexton, 27 points, shooting 11 of 17, 64.7% from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. Love to see it. 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 4 assists, 2 turnovers. He had a steal in there. THT, I was apprehensive about him starting at point guard. I wanted Chris Dunn to do it, but he showed me something impressive, right? 23 points, shooting 9 of 19. He was 0 of 6 from 3, which was the only blemish in his game. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals. He did have 3 turnovers, but I think that 4 steals kind of balances it out. Kelly Olynyk in 24 minutes was 1 of 6. His shooting struggles continue. He did end up with 2 points, 10 rebounds and 7 assists, though, to no turnovers. So that was a much needed difference. And he only had 1 personal foul this game, so we can appreciate that. He was able to stay on the court even though his shots weren't falling. Fontecchio, obviously a really big guy for us lately in the absence of Lowry. And even when Lowry came back, he was still okay in that game. 24 points, 7 of 8 from the field, 87. That works out to 87.5% from the field, 5 of 5 from the 3-point line, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 5 boards. 5 was the number of the day for him, honestly. And then he had a steal mixed in there too. No turnovers, no personal fouls. About as darn efficient as you can get in 25 minutes of action. Take that. And of course, we can't talk about the stars without talking about Walker Kessler. 10 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. And he also had a steal, 7 blocks, and a turnover. Now, honestly, it was just really smooth. It was just really, really smooth to watch. And it was only in 26 and a half minutes, right? 5 of 6 from the field. The one shot that he did miss did happen to be a 3. So he was efficient in the shots that he needed to hit, and he was willing to take the ones that weren't necessarily to go in. Let's see here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Oh yeah, we about to get to Ochai too. Seriously, I wanted to see Ochai some good stuff. Moving on to the bench though. 21 and a half minutes. 2 of 7 from the field. Not the greatest, right? But it was nice to see him get some quality minutes because lately his minutes have been spotty and non-existent and spotty and non-existent, you know. But I like it. I like him still being able to touch the floor. Obviously, 4 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers. He did have 3 personal fouls, which wasn't great in 21 minutes, but I mean, he wasn't terrible. If that's your worst, really from a numbers perspective, out of the guys that played, if he was the worst performance, like you could take that. You could definitely take that. Because then you had Taylor Hendricks, who had a good shooting night for the first time since he's been moved up, going 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 7 boards, had a steal, and he did have 2 turnovers, which we wouldn't prefer, but he also only had 1 personal foul. So he was great on the defensive side of the ball, and he was stringing things together on the offensive side as well, which is something that we really needed to see out of him. Chris Dunn obviously got some more minutes because Keontae was out 26 and a half, shooting 3 of 8 from the field, missed both of his 3-pointers, did have 2 boards to go along with 5 assists. He also had no turnovers. So that was pretty solid. It was pretty good. Um, Looking forward at Ochai, who was really the bench piece of the game, I would say. Taylor Hendricks was like in roughly in there, obviously, because of what he did. But Ochai in 26 and a half minutes, 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, had 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and 3 personal fouls, 16 points. The only thing that wasn't great was the fact that he was a negative 17 in the box plus minus. Um, Him, Chris Dunn, Micah Potter literally 2 minutes 54 seconds was in minus 12. So that was probably the last stint of the game. Definitely not what you want to see, but kind of skews the metrics a little bit, in my opinion. You said THD can't shoot the 3. Sorry, anything. Now he has had the ability. He's better than he was in the past. Obviously, I wouldn't consider him to be consistent, but I would never expect him to go a game shooting 0 of 6 like this. But I excuse him for the fact that he played well in literally every other facet of the game. He did have 3 turnovers, but I can live with those because we won for that sole reason. And we only ended up having 11 turnovers this game. So really, I think that's the second lowest of the season so far, if memory serves me right. I think the lowest we ever had was 8. So that 11 is definitely something we can live with. Sexton MVP. Love to see Sexton do good. Sexton's that guy. I'll put the jersey up today. I covered up the Lonzo Ball jersey because Lonzo's obviously not active right now. And like I have a Jazz channel, so it would make sense to have Jazz, players on the wall behind me instead of just sitting on the couch. I have a new theory about Kelly Olynyk. More personal fouls he gets, the better he plays. It fires him up for some reason. Since Kelly only got 1 personal foul, we only got to see level 1 in Kelly. That is wild, Tate. I love it though. Nah, I see what you're saying. Kawhi Lowry, um, nah, they I don't think they'll trade him. That said, though, it was interesting that they decided not to play him this time. I'm assuming that he isn't back to 100%, so they might have overplayed him a little bit last game. But I wouldn't force him to start, especially in a game like this where we're playing the Trailblazers. This is a team that if you're not the bottom of the league, you should be able to handle them. And we saw a game before on the road where my stream's cutting. Oh my goodness. Do I have another program open? Is that what this is? Polo. Is it still cutting out? I'm gonna try and close out some of these programs. Is it still cutting out for y'all? Let me know. No, it's back to normal. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, my fault. Not really sure what that was, but just wanted to make sure I got that back straight. I just closed out a couple programs. Of course, laggy now, but crystal clear when Wraith was asleep. Yeah, for real. Where were we? Sexton 2-0 as a starter. Yep. There was a rumor to trade Lowry to the Warriors for Kuminga, Moses Moody, Gary Payton, and 2 firsts. Nasty didn't want it. Let's see. Love how the Utah Jazz trade rumors are always so one-sided. Yeah. We don't need more players. If anything, we need a smaller roster, not a bigger one. Agreed. Let's see. Facts. I like GP2. I would give THT. Yeah, I would do that straight up. Or JC. Yeah, I would be willing to make that deal. Seems like every time I talk smack about THT, he does good. Yeah, that's how I felt about Jordan Clarkson for a minute. Like every couple games, I decided to like talk about how he's been bad, and then he decides that that's going to be the night that he's good. That very next game. Let's see. If we want at least 31 team again, I'll be happy. I expect us to be in that ballpark, like 30. What did I say? Projection wise, I think I said like around 34 is my hopeful floor, right? My hopeful floor, not the hopeful ceiling, but the hopeful floor. As in, we keep being inconsistent, but we get enough wins along the way. All right. Let's see. We are now Grizzlies and Trailblazers fans. We have a tiebreaker over them both. Hey, Jaws back for the Grizzlies too, so definitely need them to go ahead and start piling up wins. THT plays better in the first squad. Yeah, in the beginning of the season, he was struggling to find his stroke. Like he was fighting terribly. But, he had a good night tonight, and that's what he needed. Recently, he's been having a lot of like solid, productive nights. But this was like a night that we're going to remember for a minute because he was very important towards the W that they were able to obtain. Knocking down teams like the Warriors, Clippers, Suns. Yeah. I don't know about the Suns just because of the type of team that they are. They're different from most teams where the fact like they're going to let you score 120 points because they know they're going to be able to score 130 on you. And the Jazz haven't really been able to make their calling card defense just yet. They've had some games, but then there's one of the ones where it's like a real head scratcher. So I'd say it's a matter of time. He said, Collin Sexton, my man, is hooping. Absolutely. Make room for us in the play-in. I said we could be a playing team if we really wanted to be. Any update on George's foot? Not that I saw. I could be wrong. I also didn't go out of my way to check low-key because I figured he was going to be out this game anyways. Walker and Hendricks are awesome defending. Absolutely. Hendricks complements his game so well. Let's see. Keontae George. It says he avoided significant damage. I don't know what that tells us. Um, he's missing the upcoming road trip. We know. Um, underwent an MRI, which determined he avoided significant damage. He'll be out with left foot soreness for the remainder of the road trip. He'll be reevaluated when the team returns home. Okay, cool. Cool. So nothing too dangerous there. We'll just have to keep an eye on things, is what it sounds like. You said Coach Hardy putting in work too. Hey, making better rotations, making better decisions. That's the most important thing you can hope for out of a coach. Giving the right guys the opportunity. Now, before this game, I would have said I want Chris Dunn starting alongside um Collin Sexton. In fact, I was chatting on what was it on Twitter, and the person I was chopping up with, we were both talking about how that was a poor starting lineup, but it worked. So I shut up. Like, right? I love being right, but I love winning more than that. So if it works, F it, we ball. You know what I'm saying? And it worked today. So that's all that matters. Defensive powerhouse lineup: THT, Dunn, Hendricks, Abaji, Kessler. That would be interesting. Now, the only issue with that lineup is who are you relying on as your primary scorer? That becomes the question. Because these guys are all relatively inconsistent, and then Kessler doesn't get as many shot opportunities as the other boys. But nobody's like a consistent threat. Like if they're on the floor, you're expecting them to give you 18 to 24 points. Like none of these five guys are that particular character, but they can win by committee in a way. Like it'll guarantee you it'll be a low scoring game. But if you get into a dogfight in the last like couple minutes of the game and you happen to be down, you don't really feel comfortable in that situation, more or less. You said I love Hendricks to the point where I wouldn't mind trading Kelly. I love Kelly. I can't get over what he did at the beginning of the season because he really made me appreciate him. He's a solid veteran to have on the roster. And if he wouldn't mind getting paid not too much and just being that sort of reserve piece once I feel like he's ready to what do you call it? Once Hendricks is like ready to really take that leap and have all the extra minutes, I could see him still being with the team. And if somebody does go out down in injury or we find ourselves in these sorts of waters again, he's a very reliable person to have. So I would feel comfortable with that. But at the same time, realistically speaking, some other teams are going to be willing to make that phone call and try and get him at the very least, even if they can't, or even if they don't offer exactly what we want. We're definitely going to field a couple phone calls for him, I believe, especially as the trade deadline gets closer. Congrats on your new subscriber earlier today. Oh man, yeah, bro. Cause okay, so I'm gonna be completely transparent. So I don't know how he found me because anybody that's seen my Twitter, I had like 15 subscribers or 15 followers previous to that. And then I just randomly got this one notification that said at Worldwide Wob followed you on Twitter. And I'm like, oh, it must be somebody that just saw one of my videos or somebody that watches my videos, but also realized, oh, he has Twitter. Let me follow it. I sat there and went on it and I was like, this can't be the right guy. Cause I saw he's following 1.2 million people and he has 1.1 million followers. Like 1 million followers on Twitter is insane. And then I was like, followed by Agent, Legend of Winning, and a bunch of others. I was like, who is this guy? And I had to ask myself these questions. I started scrolling through everything and I was like, dang, why did he follow me? Like, how did he find me? First of all, like, who shouted me out? Somebody had to have, because I'm not super active on Twitter. Like, I'll repost a lot of posts, but I don't post my own like takes and stuff by and large. So when I got that one, I need to start posting the links to my videos. I think that might help me a little bit views wise. I don't know. Um, but It's just different. It's just different, you know? But I loved it though. By the way, Scoot Henderson had a good game. For some reason, he tends to have his better games of this year against the Jazz. Last time he had his season high of 16 or 17 points, I think, and this time 23 points, 10 assists, 2 boards, and a steal off the bench. So, I mean, I don't know if we want to call that a good thing or a bad thing. It's good for him, obviously, but you know, at least much for us to have to be desired. Not hating, just thinking about it realistically. Dang, Rob Perez really followed me. That's wild. I don't even know what to say to that, bro. I don't know how to. I don't know how to navigate that. Like I don't get starstruck, but it's just it's cool, you know. It's cool. It'd be like if Collin Sexton just randomly DM'd me. I'd be like, huh, I mean, you get paper cuts just like I do, but you get $1 million paper cuts. Hi, hi. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool though. That's cool. Maybe he could be the connect to one day get us a give me an interview with one of those boys out there. That would be nice. Just I don't know. I don't know. Not to get ahead of myself, right? Baby steps. Baby steps. Got to take one foot in front of the other. That said, back on topic. Let's see. Nobody's going to score the lineup. Yeah, 1-3. When you're up 1-3 with less than 24 seconds. I can see that. I can see that. How many blocks did Walker have? Yeah, he had 7, like Tyson said. Caleb Olynyk is leading in the knock room. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, that's why I said also he'd be really nice to keep on the team, especially if he's willing to survive off like a really low contract value because everybody loves having him around, right? And he's not, it doesn't cost you too much of anything to have him there, honestly. Not at the moment, anyways. Um, and when we have no playmaker guards in, Kelly can be the playmaker. That playmaker. Yeah. Yeah. Can Kessler be more productive in points? I would argue yes. Part of the reason, and let me zoom this camera in a little bit, but part of the reason that I would say Walker doesn't have the opportunity to be as productive in the points category is more so because he requires other people to set him up. Similarly to Lowry, most of Lowry's shots, the highest percentage come from no dribbles, which means somebody passes him the ball and he's shooting the ball, or they pass him the ball and he's dunking the ball, giving it a hook shot, whatever the case may be. Walker's similar in that way, but he's not privy to taking that three like, say, your 7 is, right? So if he doesn't get the ball within scoring position in the paint or near the rim, he's probably not going to put it up. Or if he doesn't have the ball, obviously he can't score that way either. That said, it makes things a little bit tricky at times for him specifically because it limits what he is capable of doing. If you're only guaranteed 5 shot attempts across the game, the best you can score is 10 points. Now, say you botch one, or say you weren't you didn't have good positioning and you just missed it, or somebody just really played good defense and you got to stop. Okay, well now automatically the best I can do is 8 points, and like that's the reality of his world at the moment. And I don't love that for him, obviously, but it's something that's just going to change as time goes on. I would say. I think in the right situation, when they play with him a lot more often. And the other part about this team is the fact that there's so many guys. There's so many guys on this team that can contribute. It's hard to feed everybody's mouths. It's kind of like having just like it's like if you have a bunch of race horses and they're all pretty fast. You want to feed them all good food, but you can't afford to just go ahead and overfeed one because you want it to develop faster because there's all these other ones that are already slightly faster than it. So you want to make sure they're eating too. So he just gets whatever's left at times. Um, but it will progress. I think it will progressively change. I don't know how soon, right? But progressively, it's something that can definitely be adjusted very easily. The Blazer in the building. Good. Good in Rip City. Take Brogdon on the Jazz. Yeah, I would take Brogdon. We can get. Can we get a laser like the Kings? Ours would be a Jazz green color. I don't know. What would our thing be? Because they have the light the beam, right? So what would we say for ours? But yeah, 7 blocks is crazy, especially in 3/4. Especially. If you heard the rumors of Lowry to Golden State for Wiggins and 2 firsts, yeah, I don't really like that trade, especially the way Wiggins has been playing. He's 27, 28 years old, and he's playing like he's washed. Bro, you haven't, in theory, you should be entering your prime or just borderline in your prime. So the fact that he's playing this poorly and literally being the guy that should be the one to step up since Curry's fighting demons by himself, but he isn't, it begs a lot of questions. It's just not ideal in any sense of any sense of the way. Lee, yes, sir. We said Hendrick dunks, though. I love those things. Yeah, confidence of feeling it. James, you said, bro, I thought we were tanking. Bro, I told you there's no reason we don't need to tank just yet. Let's get some quality games in eventually. I could see us shutting things down after the trade deadline at a certain point, but I think for now it's solid. For now, it's solid. Especially against the Trailblazers, like losing a game against like the Timberwolves or the Lakers or the Celtics, that's different, right? But against the Trailblazers, win the game. Don't sit there and put yourself beneath them. How about Walker would develop 3-point shooting? The thing is, I watched the adjustments that he made in the offseason because last season he had more of a 2-motion jumper. Excuse me. Now he has he used to have like a catapult where the ball would come behind his head and then he would release forward. Now it's more of a smoother motion up and out. It's not completely fluid, but it's a lot better looking than it was last year. The issue is he doesn't take game time reps. Like there's so many times in the game, and that's why I credit Yurt because Yurt doesn't hit all of his, but when he plays, he's usually liable to take 1 or 2 threes a game. Because if you give him the ball in the corner, you're about to shoot that. It's not guaranteed to go in, but he's going to shoot it and he's going to shoot it with confidence. Walker needs to be willing to do that because as long as he doesn't, he's going to end up clogging up the paint because the big's never going to come out if he decides to screen and pop, right? If he picks and pops, nobody's going to come out there for him. They're going to stay in the paint because you're not going to shoot that ball when you get it anyways. You're going to try and switch it into a dribble handoff. And that's what he's done most. So it makes him predictable and more one-dimensional. And I think it's going to take a minute for him to get that confidence to just go ahead and let that thing fly, even if he does just shoot it once or twice a game, because those attempts will add up. And the more attempts he takes, the more he will eventually make, thus bringing up his percentage, which will make people have to honor that shot for him. And ideally, that allows for more positive things for the other guys on the court, particularly because it drags the big from out of the paint, which would allow for better driving lanes and other passing situations. Go with the blue laser. Blue? I wonder. Bro, but that would be copying, yeah. Purple would suit us best, but that's theirs. How about, let's see. Those Blazers were watching their highlights on Kessler too much. He worked today. He did. Convincingly, too. See, Ochai and Kessler are starting to make the second-year leap. Makes me excited. Much better game from them. And I would also say playing alongside Collin Sexton makes things different for them because I feel like the tempo's a little bit quicker and there's a lot more of action that's going on instead of a simple like pin down for Lowry to get a shot or JC dribbling the hell out of his shot clock before getting a shot off. There's a lot more that goes on in a quicker period of time. So there's obviously going to be more shot attempts to go around because there's more possessions that are created because of it. And today there was very few turnovers, which is obviously uncharacteristic and probably really unrealistic. I think On a good night, we should expect him to have around 14 turnovers on a good night. On a great night, that was what tonight was, right? Now, obviously, the last like 4-ish, 5-ish, 6-ish minutes of the game weren't great, but by and large, you can rely on this to be like a really, really, really good game from them. Um, Hope Lowry signs as soon as possible. Yeah, Don Abaji, Hendricks, Kessler lineup. Put the clamps last 2 games. Yeah. Has John Collins' value gone up enough worth trading, or should we keep him? I like John Collins, but I also understand realistically he has the most. He is one of those guys where, alongside Jordan Clarkson, he is the most replaceable. Not be, but for John Collins, the reason is different than it is for Clarkson, because Clarkson, he's been so inconsistent, it makes you want to trade him. Collins has been extremely consistent on offense, but his ceiling is not as high as Taylor Hendricks. So between the two of them, if you're a rebuilding franchise, you're gonna pick Taylor Hendricks. So it's about John Collins. He's not doing anything wrong per se. He's just not as futuristically good as the other guy that will potentially that will end up taking his minutes because they play the same position. Which, understandably so, I wish I could, keep him on the bench and have Taylor Hendricks start and all that. But I believe that he would be better served in a different environment because he deserves that. He's given us the best basketball he could muster for us. And he proved to everybody else, hey, I didn't lose my jumper. I was hurt for a minute. My hand hurt. I'm good now. I'm a bucket now. Pay me and play me. And I think that's pretty fair, man. I'm not gonna lie. Said Lowry. A money, yes, sir. He said Lowry isn't signing until his contract is over. He's hoping to get in a All NBA to increase his max. Okay. Yeah, that would make the most sense, honestly. The Jazz were shopping John Collins already. Yeah, you did DM me that. I saw that right before I went live, actually. I don't love it, but I understand it. That's the thing. Like, once you reach a certain level of basketball knowledge, you don't like certain moves or certain decisions, but you also understand why they're like in the category of necessary evils. Like, it's something that should happen because it is the correct decision, though I don't necessarily want it to happen, if that makes sense. Let's see if they can get it first for Collins. It wouldn't surprise me personally. It's because he's a surefire player. He's consistent offensively. Doesn't surprise me if they shot John Collins, to be honest. Just hasn't worked out with John Collins, Walker, Kessler, and Lowry. All three on the court at the same time. Yeah, no. More so because John Collins isn't the defender that Hendricks is. If John Collins had Hendricks' defense, you would have to continue to play them and just require your guards to be more elite playmakers. But you can't do that because if the offense gets stymied and stiff, he's not going to pay you back on defense and even the score. That's just not in his bag of tricks. You win more games when you have a guard that plays downhill. That's why it's vital for Key to learn how to become a better finisher. Yeah, and part of it's also going to be his size and build. So he puts on a little bit of weight, gets a heftier frame. He'll be able to absorb contact better, and he won't just go like flying off people like a ping pong ball. Let's see. Especially on defense, yeah. I think we could most likely get a first. Yeah. Both JC don't play defense. I would say Collins plays defense. He's more consistent defensively than Clarkson is, but he just gets outmaneuvered too much for his frame, I would say, which makes me slightly frustrated, but he's more efficient on offense, so I can only get but so mad at him, if that makes sense. Rather trade John than Olynyk, but I do like John. So the thing there is John is a consistent scorer. Olynyk's not scoring well, but Olynyk can also rebound like Collins can. He plays similar defense to what Collins does, but he also play makes, and Collins doesn't play make, and Lowry doesn't play make, and Walker Kessler doesn't play make. So Olynyk by default is the more necessary to the team's success than John Collins is at this moment. At this moment. Opinions on Collins, I like him, but he's replaceable. Yeah. Sheesh, bro, your power just went out. Tyson, you good, bro? You said the one that makes me question if we can get a first is he's not very friendly. Yeah, the contract might be the issue. Talent-wise, he's totally worth a first, but the contract is not great. Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't fall in love with it because a lot of people also won't give him the certain types of freedom that we have. They're going to put him into a box and expect him to stay there. Lowry's going to extend this offseason. Will renegotiate and extend, so we pay him plus $12 million next year in the max. Yeah, that's what I have the video that's. Did Sachin finish it yet? Sachin's supposed to be putting together a video for me soon. Oh, hey, money, you subscribe, bro. Oh, appreciate you for joining the gang, man. Yeah, man. Glad to have you with us. But yeah, for sure. Because right now, it'll put him at what, like 30 something million this year or something high ish, and then it'll be a back end of 250. But yeah. I said, look at what Sabonis did with the Kings. Yeah, exactly the same exact story. Or what we did with Jordan Clarkson. We did the exact same thing. Give him a couple extra M's right now, and then on the back stretch, smoothed it out a little bit. Sorry about that. All right. If Sexton keeps playing like the last two games, Key might not get his starting job back. No, I think Key actually will get his starting job back. That said, I don't think that Clarkson should be starting. I don't think Clarkson should be starting. He's too inefficient. Sexton has done more with less, and he's been more efficient and with less shot attempts. And when you've seen like today where he shot more shot attempts. Last game he shot more shot attempts. More recently, he's been getting more than 10 shot attempts, and he's been consistent. So it's not too hard. I feel like I just skipped somebody's. Did I just skip somebody's comment? I skipped somebody's thing. Hold on. Yeah, what A Money said. John Collins is a elite rotation level big man. That's where you truly find him impactful, like a Bobby Portis. Yeah, there you go. Yep, I agree with that totally. Actually, Olynyk had 2 bad shooting nights, and he can shoot just as good, if not better than John. Actually, for sure better. I don't know though, because John has been more consistent over the totality of the season as far as attempts go. Let me actually, before I sit there and just keep blowing hot air, let me make sure that's actually right. Nick stats. Oh dear, somebody I went to high school with passed away yesterday. I don't know how to react to that in this moment. So I will put it in my nothing box and worry about it later. Like men do. Collins. Collins stats. And we'll pull these up off ESPN as well because I want to see. I'll do Basketball Reference for both. Actually, I changed my mind. Never mind. All right, so this year, sorry, I have them a little bit split. We said Keontae Sexton will start. That's what we did last game. Yeah, it makes the most sense. Taking good point. Because Keontae got hurt and it was THT instead of Keontae. Yeah. Oh, you've been subscribed. Oh, see, I figured I recognized your name, but I maybe it's because I just thought you weren't subscribed. I guess. Um, Missed out on the game, but while Sexton keeps at this level of play, then he's going to stay in the starting lineup. And if he doesn't, then I'm concerned about Hardy's coaching. uh, let's see. Welcome to the best content YouTube. Amen. Yeah, man. I say keep Sexton starting. Yeah, I've been saying it since the beginning. Well, I was actually advocating for Chris Dunn from the beginning, but I let Clarkson sit for a minute before I decided to go ahead and ring the alarm. Is it my network or is the stream cutting out? Is it cutting out? Right. I like Key and Sexton starting. Keontae and Sexton needs to start. The other guards, you grab a better guard pair with Key. Regardless, I don't see Keontae moving to the bench. Yeah, I think they've put him in as a starter for too long for him to come off the bench the rest of the season. If you start Sexton, you have to start Kelly. They're inseparable. They are one of the best duos. Or at the very least, you have to have a high crossover of minutes, I would say. Most likely on my network. Okay, yeah. Okay, Lee. Okay. Believe you should start too, but we never know with Hardy's coaching. Yeah, that's the other thing. Seems like he'd rather die than start Sexton. He started Sexton literally because Clarkson. I guarantee you, if Clarkson was healthy, he would not have started Sexton. Still to this game. Agree about Clarkson. Yeah, Clarkson back to 6-man. It's better that way, honestly. No way, Olenek. Problem. He is literally rarely shoots. BRB rebound rider. Yes, sir. Oh man, that's too bad. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll say he wasn't the greatest. He wasn't the schoolmate I went to school with. He wasn't the most straight and narrow kid. He did have his issues. So it doesn't surprise me. He's not one of those people where like you get the news that somebody passes and you're like, oh my God, them. He wasn't one of those. But he's still, it's still unfortunate. But the show goes on. And that's what makes life so precious, man. You never know. You never know. But back on topic, Kelly Olynyk's presence in the locker room is important. Yes, I would argue it's some of the biggest. Came back, Harden cooked the Warriors. Scoot finally had a good game. He only has good games against the Jazz for some reason. But he was shooting tour dates. Yeah. I like Dunn as well. Yeah, I love Dunn. With Keontae out, I would like to see Dunn get more minutes. I really want him to start over THT, but THT played good in the game. So I can't talk. I'm willing to be proven wrong. You know what I'm saying? I always said I would like to see Clarkson given a shot with Olynyk. There's a very mature take of you, Tatum. And I do understand the logic behind it, which is why it does have merit. That said, I feel like it was something they should have tried a while ago because we've watched Clarkson shoot his own version of tour dates for a very significant period of time now. And now we're seeing Sexton play alongside Olynyk and things look a lot better. So I think having Olynyk and Clarkson come off the bench together would give Clarkson the opportunity to, on a smaller sample size where he's not expected to be super impactful on the game, get back into the rhythm of being the great scorer that he is and just focusing on getting a bucket each time. I think that would be very beneficial for him. He gave Chris Dunn minutes and he has 6 points. Washed. I can't say washed though. I can't because he only had eight shot attempts. He was 3 of 8. And it's like one of those things where it's like if you go from being a guy that doesn't play at all to being a guy that gets thrown in there for 20 minutes, like it's different. It's different because you go from prepping the games that you will never see the court in, that you hope you see the court in, to playing in a game where you weren't expecting to see the court, and now, oh shoot, I'm in. And it's one of those things. That said, I didn't hate the way he played. Obviously, he brings that extra defensive push and that playmaking as well. Very mature with the ball in his hands. So I really liked it. And when he's not hitting a shot, he knows and he stops shooting. That's the other thing. Dunn played great defensively. I don't know how they didn't credit him with more steals. He got at least 2, but he tapped them to other teammates, so they got to credit it. Yeah. So his is deflections then, and they just didn't give it to him. Or well, it's just not a very publicized stat, I'd rather say. Having healthy Kessler, Hendricks, and Markkanen helps the defense a lot. Yeah, Hendricks is healthy, but he's in G League, of course. Yeah, seeing him play now is really good to see, honestly. Two, I agreed. THT back-to-back steals tonight. For me, we should go with Key, Sexton, Lowry, Olynyk, Kessler. I'm definitely willing to entertain that. I like the way that looks. And with Key out temporarily, or probably for longer than at least Lowry is, this lineup is very feasible. I would probably say put Dunn in for Key until Key comes back. But if THT can maintain his level of play, he just needs to go ahead and cut out those 3-point attempts that he took. There's no reason for you to take 6 threes if you're going to miss all of them, right? There's no way he sees 6 good 3-point attempts and misses all 6. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say because he went what 9 of 11 from the or 9 of 11 or 9 of 13, either way, but still a good shooting percentage from inside the 3-point line. I'm willing to excuse him today. He does catch the pass today. That said, he said Walker or Kessler and Collins don't mesh together. Because there's no playmaking there. If Lowry was a playmaker, it would be easier for those two guys to play together. But because John Collins isn't an above average defender, and he also cannot play make, it makes for grinding gears. Also, Walker Kessler does refuse to shoot his 3, so he doesn't spread the floor, which is also problematic. Play huge and have 2 scoring guards. Yeah. Said it seems like Walker's you think his confidence coming back? I could see it. Yeah, Steve Kerr did terrible with Team USA, and it's transferring into the regular season because now you're seeing the Warriors struggle. And I'll tell you right now, the Warriors players aren't all washed and not all trash. But as a head coach, if your players are struggling this badly, this poorly on a consistent basis, you have to make the adjustment. It is your fault if your team loses like this. He's not making the adjustments that he needs to make, and therefore they're going to keep losing the way they are. And Curry's going to keep fighting for his life every night. And I love the memes when they're talking about how Curry was like when LeBron was going into the finals and he was on a graphic. It was Curry, Clay, Draymond, and KD. And on LeBron's side, he had Tristan Thompson and Kyle Korver. And in the press conference, Curry was like, I don't understand why everybody's sitting there talking about like he has no help. Like at the end of the day, he has NBA players. Curry, you have NBA players now. What's going on, bud? It sucks, doesn't it? It sucks having to carry other grown men because they can't carry their load, huh? It's almost like LeBron felt that then when he played you. Crazy. But yeah, interesting. But that being said, I don't think Steve Kerr is a particularly great coach. I thought about making a video about it, but I don't know how to frame the argument and how to properly say what I need to say. So I'm just going to sit it on the bench until randomly I just absorb the knowledge through osmosis or come across a stat sheet that tells me what I need to know. Not going to lie, I love Fontecchio. In the starting lineup, we start Fontecchio with Lowry and have John come off the bench. I would love to assume, or I would love that assuming we don't make a trade. I can see that too. And Fontecchio also is a pretty decent playmaker. People don't pay attention to that. Naturally, obviously, it's because he played in Europe and they're more of a passing type of world. Like just there's more passer leagues and guys naturally average less points, not because they can't score more points, but because they share the ball more. They run sets and run plays more overseas. So that's to be expected. Having done is like Conley last year, a savvy vet with good decision making and defense. Yeah, I guess he just doesn't have, I guess, the same shot making ability to a certain extent that Conley does. So you can't rely on him to carry an offensive load himself as much. But I, by and large, definitely agree with what you said. Most definitely. Collins is like in between a 4 and a 5. Awkward fit. Yeah. Yesterday's starting lineup was my favorite of the season. Yeah. Thing with Dunn is the opposing team doesn't care about him with the ball in hand. True. Clay had 30? Uh-oh. Hold on. Dunn underestimate Dunn able to get his floater shot or make a great assist. Dunn's not going to drop 30 or anything like that, but he will impact the game positively. Yeah. Portland has Golden State's pick, LMAO. That's crazy. Yeah, that's going to be worth something. 2018 finals was a bloodbath. LeBron and Cleveland had no chance. Although, no, I don't underestimate him, but you see how the league prefers to guard him. Everyone lets him go downhill on purpose. I see what you're trying to say, Money. I see what you're trying to say. Steve Kerr hates Utah because John Stockton or him. So I kind of believe he might have had Walker out. He's petty, like too much pride. I think I think more specifically, he wanted to prove that his style of basketball works is the most superior level of basketball, and that's a high level of ego, right? He said his video title was Kerr carried to 4 rings as a coach. I think that could be a main channel video. I think I could make that into a main channel video if I really sat down and studied the numbers for a month, for a week. I would definitely need, obviously, how they win with Curry, how they win without Curry. I would need the general history of was Mike Brown the coach before Kerr? I think it was Mike Brown. No, it wasn't Mike Brown. Who was it? It wasn't Mike Brown. It was Mark Jackson. Thank you. It was Mark Jackson. He literally built the system. He gave him the foundation, and Curry just increased the number of shot 3 pointers they took using the elevator doors plays and other ones. Right. So he did install some sets, but at the same time, by and large, most calls are made by Curry. The reason why Curry isn't considered a clutch player is because he has to create the shots on his own. He's not really a great creationist in isolation. Which would lead you to believe that your coach would scheme up a play to allow you, the best player, to get the best shot. Does he? No. It turns into Curry, ISO, dribble, dribble, screen, dribble, 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 miss three, end of game. Curry's not clutch. It's like, bro, his coach didn't set him up for success. And they don't win without Curry either, which means it's not as though they've been talentless without Curry. It's just that he doesn't know how to coach the players to teams to wins. It's not as though Curry's out and then they play the Lakers or they play the Nuggets or they play the Celtics. No, they lose to like the Pelicans without Curry. They lose to the Trailblazers without Curry back when they had Dame, right? So it's just one of those things. And I have to give him some credit because Steve Kerr having Curry, it's different. It's almost like having LeBron because Curry genuinely is one of the only guards in NBA history who was so good he was the system. As in that his team does not win or go the same way if you put another point guard in his role because they will not do the job as well as he does. That's one of those really, really rare things, especially in today's league. But it's impressive. It's really impressive. Let me see. Kerr doesn't play him because he's a rug. Not a Utah team, but clearly on the USA roster. Cast to serve more minutes. Yeah. They should let him. Clearly, we win the games. Mark Jackson handed Kerr that time on a golden player. Yep, and then didn't get a coaching job afterwards. Crazy. Mark, what's up, bro? You said you think Mark Jackson is better than Kerr. Mark was a start of success. Yes, I would say Mark is better as a pound for pound coach. Yes, the one thing I have to give Kerr his I got to give him a couple flowers, right? Last year, when the Warriors played against the Kings, it was the first time I saw Steve Kerr genuinely coach, like genuinely sweating on the sideline, drawing up plays, trying to communicate with Curry and tell them where to go with the ball, what decisions to make. It was the first time I saw it on the big stage. And I will say I was impressed because he outcoached Mike Brown. When a guy comes from your system, knows everything that you're going to do, you're playing a game of chess. It was honestly one of the most impressive playoff series I've ever seen in my life. Not from a pound for pound, like it wasn't as entertaining as like watching LeBron dominate Toronto back when he was in Cleveland, right? But it was one of those things where it was like back and forth. This play's working. This during the first quarter. Oh, they came up with a counteraction to it in the second quarter. What are they going to do about it? Oh, 3 minutes left in the second quarter. They created a counteraction to the counteraction to get the stop. And then it kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it was just really impressive to watch. It's hard to explain. There was one, I can't remember the creator's name, but somebody broke it down in their own video. It was like a 30-minute long video, 30-minute long video. And it was like chef's kiss. It was masterfully done, masterfully put together. But yeah. Tech was number one free agent in Europe before we signed him. Yep. Number one small forward in the world outside of the NBA, allegedly. What were your thoughts on the Chet situation for the past few weeks? What happened with Chet? Brief me real quick, Kuzi. I've been vaguely like all over the place, but I haven't been zeroed in on him. Give me a quick brief. Give me a brief. Because maybe I know and I just haven't registered. It hasn't registered in my brain as like an actual something to consider. Except Curry makes it and wins a lot. And also Kerr hates rookies. I think Mark Jackson is number 3 all time in assists. Wouldn't surprise me. Steph Curry, coincidence? I think not. A-Money said, can't blame Kerr for not playing rookies. He had a winning team since he walked through the door. Rookies, for the most part, don't know how to play winning basketball. Fair. Mark never got a different coaching job because of how aggressively he forced religion in the locker room. Really? Interesting. Miami head coach should be the head coach for the USA team. Spoelstra, yes, Eric Spoelstra should be that guy, right? After Coach K was out, it should have been him. He demands respect. He demands control. He's a very to-the-point guy across the board. And another thing was, this is the part that was so boneheaded to me because I need to tell you guys this because if I made the video already, it would have been in the video. The part that made me realize that Steve Kerr might not be a great coach and he might let his ego get in the way of his ability to properly get the job done. In Golden State, they have, they don't have a true 5 always on the court. Sometimes they have Draymond do it. And Draymond's the guy that helps off of people, helps in passing lanes, communicates, screens and rolls, all that sort of stuff. He does all the glue guy stuff along with being a great defender as well. He roams. He tried to turn Jaren Jackson Jr., who is a roamer. That's how he got his DPOY. That's how he got his Defensive Player of the Year award. He didn't get it by being a true 5. He got it by being a power forward that played alongside Steven Adams, who rebounded and held down the paint. And then he got to roam around, block shots, assist on drives, and do that sort of thing. Basically, what the Jazz are going to attempt to do to Lowry once the team is healthy. They're going to put him on the weakest shooter and allow him to help off with his length. That was Jaren Jackson's job with the Grizzlies. I don't know why in Steve Kerr's brain it made sense to sit him as a pure 5 in USA basketball. And it's like, okay, well, it allows you a better scoring option than Walker Kessler. Fair play. But the clown can't rebound. I didn't mean it. I said that a little loud in the mic. I didn't mean to say that loud. But he can't rebound. He can't clean the glass at all. He's never been a glass cleaner. If you look at the numbers, just statistically, he's never been a glass cleaner. So why would you put him at the 5 and expect him all of a sudden to have rebounding in his bag? It was never there. You tried to make spaghetti without tomato sauce. You go in the pantry and it's like those when you have nothing in your fridge and you open the door the first time and you're like, dang, there's nothing to eat in here. And you close the door and you walk away and then you come back a couple minutes later and check the fridge again. He checked it again. It's still not there. He still can't rebound. He still can't guard traditional 5s. That's not how he got his DPOY. It's not that hard. Look, study your players. If these are the guys that want to play on your team, and they're supposed to be all NBA talents, watch their highlights. Don't even watch the lowlights. Watch their highlights and tell me what you learned. I don't even watch Grizzly games. But from the tape, I could have told him that. I should have the IQ of a freaking goldfish compared to an NBA level head coach, much less one that has 4 rings and then also has rings as a player back previous to this age of shooting. And it's like, and I find it hard to believe that somebody didn't tell him this already, and he just decided, "No, I think we got it." And then they didn't have it, and he's like, "No, no, 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 wait for it, wait for it." He was feeling his inner Quinn Snyder. He was like, "You know what? Hold on, trust it, trust it, trust it. Jaren's got it, Jaren's got it, Jaren's got it." Jaren did not have it. Fun fact, he did not have it. That's why there's what? No necklace. They have no necklace, they have no medals. Sorry, that's my little rant. Anyways, yeah, I didn't mean to. I felt that. I'm sure you can see the passion in my face. Just really irritating. That said, let's get back on topic. Mm, how many games Green will be suspended? What are your thoughts about him? With him being suspended indefinitely, he's going to be out for probably a month minimum. I could see him being out until mid January, second week of January, earliest return date. It was just stupid. And like one of my friends had like a compilation of Draymond Green like incidents. And I low key forgot how many there are. Like he literally has a whole 4 to 5-ish minute highlight tape of him kicking people in the nuts, him clotheslining people, him hard fouling people, him obviously hitting your Nurkic. It's just a lot, you know? Um I would say definitely mid-January is his earliest return. He keeps making boneheaded mistakes. He's a grown man. He's in his 30s. He has a salt and pepper beard that's more salt and pepper than LeBron's. He knows better. He needs to be more in control. He needs to lock in. If you're supposed to be the leader of your team, I understand you guys are losing. You guys are struggling. That does not mean play haphazardly because you look like a 12-year-old when you do it. Lock in. And he needs to be fined. Yeah. Go and take some of his game check. Maybe that'll make him take it seriously. He said, I don't know, it'll be some number, yeah. You think at least 30? I don't know. He has to pay out, so he has to pay a fire fine. Fair. At least 10 to 20? Yeah. You think 5 to 8? The league can't afford to have Curry in another losing season? I don't know. Jordan, there he is. My guy. Pleasure having you with me, bro. He said Jackson can't rebound. You're right, Wraith. Bro, I get so hot about that. And nothing pisses me off more than a big that can't rebound. You're borderline 7 foot and you're known for blocking shots, but you can't grab a ball. Brother, get in the gym. That's all. That's the message. Get in the gym. It's not hard. I don't think it's easier to learn how to rebound than it is to shoot. You got a 3-point shot, but he can't rebound. Be for real. Where are we? Jazz better without Clarkson. Ball moves better. I definitely agree. For now, I think Clarkson deserves the opportunity with Olynyk, but at the same time, I've seen enough of him overall to go ahead and say Sexton deserves to play bad before he gets replaced. Do you think Cleveland will trade Spida? I think it's coming to that point. I don't know if it's this year, though. But if they fail again in the playoffs bad, it could be that time. It could be New York time. Jazzy Jeff, yes, sir. He said, if the Cavs trade Don, I'd laugh unless they get like 6 picks. They need something usable. And their team has such a weird chemistry about it, and it kind of works, but also kind of doesn't. So they need specific pieces to make it work. They can't just do a traditional trade where you trade it and you get equal talent back because they need a specific type of talent. He said you have awesome Utah Jazz channel. I appreciate that, Jeff. Appreciate you, Brody. He said the Sabonis stomp, bro. OD. He put that foot right in him. ANF is back. Ha ha ha. There he is. That awesome guy. Jeff, do you have a YouTube channel? Trying to get Mr. Wallpaper to hop on. He's more stoked at tonight to win. I'd bet. Loving Utah Jazz jerseys in the background. You already know. Courtesy of everybody that donated to the to the Buy Me a Coffee website. Bro, definitely came in clutch. This mic, those jerseys. I had that jersey already, but I have underneath this one actually, there is a Lonzo Ball jersey. Chicago Bulls one. Definitely got all this gear. Courtesy of y'all. And then I have a camera too. All the money I got turned into gear. And then some of it I spent on editing for the visuals that you guys have been seeing in the last like 5-ish, 8-ish videos. I'm going to try and keep that up. That's also why I'm cutting down the volume, because I just quite frankly don't have the money to pay Sachin to add clips to everything as much as I would love to. I've realized like that me falling asleep on stream was just like, in my opinion, it was unacceptable. If I'm going to do a sleep stream, that's not the way I want to do it. I couldn't even watch that stream back because it was like, bro, come on. But, content will get better. It's better to provide more quality videos than to just throw stuff out there and hope somebody watches it, right? And I'm cutting back, right? Giving a little bit more energy towards the live streams, and then probably we'll see 3-ish, 4-ish videos a week individually, but they're going to be more scripted. They're going to be longer. They're going to have more visuals. They're going to be really tight and to the point. Let's see. Isn't Spider leaving in free agency? You think so? You think so, Koozie? I don't think the Knicks should go super all in on Spider. I wouldn't see it being that big either. You see him going to the Nets, but they already have Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges. Is Mikal Bridges running the 3? I guess you can move him to the 3. That could work. Low key. My favorite Jazz player of all time. I'm a little bit biased because I love me some Collin Sexton. Collin Sexton was the guy that really got me interested in the Jazz. I mean, alongside the fact that y'all had Al Jefferson before Al Jefferson came to the Hornets. As a child, I'm the oldest of 7 kids, so we don't get to eat out very much, very often. You know what I'm saying? Well, we didn't in the past. Obviously, I work now, so it's different. But like, so back then, we used to watch Hornets games, but the Hornets were bad or mediocre, better yet. So with that in mind, our thing was always, they used to have Hornets 95. If the Hornets scored 95%, if the Hornets scored 95 points in their game, the following day, Papa John's Pizza was 50% off. And that's why I loved Al Jefferson and Kemba Walker. I had a lot of pizza that year. That was real. You said the Nets have players and picks if the Knicks don't pounce. You do raise a good point there. I'm not. And Mikal Bridges on the. What if they sent Mikal Bridges? I doubt they would be willing to move him. But if they did go straight up trade, Mikal Bridges on the Cavaliers would be interesting. It'd be rather spicy. Better defensive fit too. Let's see. He said, I'm not the brightest Jazz fan, but I thought Sexton looked really good tonight. Definitely. He did the job. He backed up everything I've said about him, and I appreciate that. There's nothing better than when you talk about how great a player is and they actually play up to the standard that you set for them, or they supersede it. Now it gets really bad when you talk about how good a player should be, and then they just play like hot dog water for like 5 games straight, because then you're like, bro, he's not usually like this. I promise, bro. I promise. Look at his stats. Look at the stats. And it's like, you're sitting there fighting for your life. Let's see. your fault if you were tired on streams. You're a hardworking man. Yeah, but if you got my thing is always if you get into something, you give it 110% the whole time. It's got to be the best. Be honest, watching Ray sleep is more fun than watching you. That's funny. He also streams for less time than me, so I get everybody pops in like after every other streamer drops out. He worked like crazy understanding guitar, bro. Mondays are the roughest. Mondays are the roughest because I'm usually up at least like 27 hours by the time it's time to stream at minimum. He said because we could chat and party and stuff. True, true. Epic, yes sir. Chat's way active that stream. Yeah, yeah. I saw. I did see. I love the Jefferson. If Hoop falls asleep, it's just nothing. He said the next team that Spider goes to needs to have him run the one. I can see that. I can see that. Hornet scoring 95 was tough, but I feel like even during that era, the league had a low average. Yeah, it was obviously, yeah, during that period, it was obviously like a lower scoring league. Combine that with the fact that the Hornets had Steve Clifford as their head coach, and you had a starting five that was comprised of, if I remember correctly, Kemba Walker. It wasn't Jeffrey Taylor. Gerald Henderson, um, MKG, Michael Gilchrist, my favorite player of all time. Marvin Williams at the power forward, and Al Jefferson at the center spot. So as you could tell by most of those names, they're not scorers. And if that's your starting five, you're not about to sit here and put up 115 points in most games. And they didn't, obviously, unless Kemba went for like 30 something, then it was reasonable. And then Al would give you the most gentlemanly old man bucket of all time every time. Yeah, MKG had the nastiest shooting form of all time. And by the time he fixed it, it was too late. He was cooked. He said we should re-sign Rudy Gay. Really? What makes you say that, Tatum? I was about to say, you said just kidding. I hated that guy. I would say, I mean, he was the bag of chips and and pocket lint that I talk about us trading John Collins for. So hey. Sexton's defense has been strong. Yeah. The thing about Sexton is he always is consistent defensively. His issue is he's just little. So sometimes somebody's going to get a bucket on him anyways because he physically cannot compete. It's never a mental thing with him. He brings that energy every single possession, but sometimes he's just not big enough to make the difference. I'm feeling what you said about Sexton, but with Hendricks, I have a high on a dude for a year now. Feels so good to see him pop. I'm with you there. I love that. Hey, Udo. Interesting, Freddie. Interesting. Oh, you meant the Giddy stuff. I got you. Really, the thing with Josh Giddey is I believe he was probably played. He's probably finessed. And by the time he found out he was finessed, it was too late. The deed had been done. Now, what ended up happening from there was he probably went immediately, talked to the front office, said, "Yo, I got myself in some stuff," because apparently they knew for like a whole year plus, right? So he was like, "Yo, I got into this situation. This is what happened. These are all the facts. I'm telling you, I'm not lying." And they told him exactly what to do to stand out business. And so when it finally came out, they were sitting back there like, "We're still letting him play. We handled it. Go ahead and investigate. Go ahead. We handled it already. We took care of stuff. Don't worry, it's not going to happen again, but we handled it." And that's why I don't give it too much thought as far as that. Let's see. See Don getting traded to Miami. Unironically, it would be a loss of a deal for Cleveland, but if they landed Jamie in it, that's interesting. I could see him there. I could see him in Miami actually. Lee's back, yes sir. Security job. Okay, so I do like a mobile security thing. So I'm usually driving for like, it also depends on what route I'm on, but I'm usually driving a good 70% of the time, walking through sites, apartment buildings, warehouse, factories, the other 30% of the time. And then I obviously write a report or whatever. If somebody's somewhere they're not supposed to be, obviously get them out of there. Um, it's enjoyable sometimes because if you go out of your way to certain areas, or you because like I have to drive like 50 minutes out to one stop. It's like a security bus route in a way, like how a bus has like a certain number of stops, but they go back to that same stop a certain number of times over a period of hours. It's kind of like that. But it's I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just there's other things I would rather do at times, obviously. Like this. Like this, clearly. Hmm. He said Tate and I was excited when Rudy Gay signed, but it didn't take long for me to hate him too. Reasonably so. He would shoot 1 of 17 from three, kept jacking him up like he was on fire. A fearless confidence. 2.5 games behind the Warriors and the Warriors are in 10th, aren't they? That's wild. Huh. We're still in it. We're still standing, guys. Then he finally make one, and the announcer would be behind. Would be what he said. This would be like turning back the clock. I'm like, bro, shut up. He got lucky. Nah, that's comedy. Derek's here. What's up, Derek? He said Giddy's girlfriend slash ex made it into an 18-year-older club. So to me, it stands to reason that she lied to him about her age. Exactly. Because she had to lie to get in. No bouncer is going to see a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, whichever she was, and say, okay, and let her in there. That's just not how the world works. And to his credit, she did look like a freshman in college. I would wager. From the pictures that I saw, she did look like somebody. She did look like a young lady. Just how it was. Right. Gay was terrible in the locker room too. Giddy's a pretty boy. Yeah, he is. He has the Greek aura around him. The Greek chiseled chin and facial structure and hair and everything. I think OKC would still trade Giddy because it's what's a 15-year-old even doing in a 21 club anyways? He just doesn't fit OKC anymore. I don't know. He's not. This is the thing, right? So most of OKC has not changed. The only thing that's changed is Chet. Chet has been the biggest positive. Shea can't play any better than he is. Two-way demon, bro. Efficient from the field, efficient from the three-point line, efficient from the free throw line. Playmaker, makes plays, table sets for others, gets his own bucket, plays great defense. Can't get any better than that. Lou Dort didn't improve much. Josh Giddey didn't improve much. Chet came onto the scene and he stepped and stood on business. So you got to appreciate that, man. Um, so for that, I would say they wouldn't be the most privy to doing it, especially since like with the whole situation, they've known about it for a whole year. So they knew at some point this was going to happen and it was going to be a whole media storm. And they said, we're going to weather the storm. We're rocking with you because you're rocking with us. We believe you. We appreciate you coming forward and letting us know before anybody else found out. And we'll handle it when it comes up. That's all. So my friends had fake IDs and were clubbing around 50. See, there you go. Even Christian said it. I feel bad for Giddy getting compared to Malone. The situations were wildly different. Yes, drastically different. Jazz are open to dealing. Yeah. Tatum was telling me about that earlier. Going to bed. I'm sorry. I will. If I can, screwed up my knee today skiing. Nah, you're good, bro. You're good, bro. Make sure you get some rest. Make sure you ice it. Make sure you stretch in the shower too. I don't know if it's the bone part that's irritating you, but if it's the muscle tissue area, when you shower, definitely get them stretches in. Chet being a redshirt rookie, being able to help his team win in his technically second year shows Donovan Mitchell should have won Rookie of the Year over Ben Simmons. Either way, by technical definition, since he didn't play in an NBA game before, Got to give it to him. It's in my opinion because rookies don't help you win, and Chet is helping OKC win. Really? I think real by and large, I would agree with you. Rookies don't help teams win. But if you are just like that, like LeBron was just like that, and everybody was like, he's gonna be a helpful bench piece for us. And then he came in and literally like spearheaded their attack and made them a better team. I think Chet has the ability to be one of those players. So for that reason, I would be willing to entertain the idea that he's reasonably the difference. Now, I would say Chet is also something that should not really exist. Like Victor, something that shouldn't exist. He just went toe to toe with Anthony freaking Davis and had 30 points and like 4 blocks, right? And I think he had double figure rebounds as well. But like that stuff isn't normal. That's not something you can count on. So the fact that it's here is insane. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander isn't something you see every day. The fact that he's here is insane. Who else? Curry being the greatest shooter of all time. Insane, but he's here. De'Aaron Fox, speed, shooting ability, playmaking, defense. Crazy, but he's here. The only person that you can compare Tyrese Halliburton to, who? The point guard, Chris Paul, right? These type of guys are like every few years it's not a consistent thing that you can count on. So I have to give him a little bit of merit because I do think that Chet is in that wonderful company. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to end his career being top 10 all time. I'm not ready to say that. I don't think I ever will say that personally. But is he going to be an all-time great? He has that ability. I'm willing to say that. I am willing to say that. That's the one thing. I'm out, Wraith. I'm on graveyard shift, EMT. Work never ends. Hey, be careful, bro. We appreciate you. Somebody got to do it. We even got paramedics in the chat, y'all. We even got paramedics in the chat. Shout out that boy Top Ramen, man. Thanks. I think it'll be a bruise. I'm pretty lucky today. Nice. Collins trade block thing. Way interesting because he's been disappointing. That's what they said. Seems brutal. He's done his job pretty well, in my opinion, but I wonder if the trade blocks like there. That's crazy. They said because he's been disappointing. Were they expecting like lockdown defense? Because that's the only thing he doesn't do. He shoots like borderline 40% from 3 on like 4 or 5 attempts a game. And he rebounds well. What were they expecting from him? That doesn't make sense to me. You said, yeah, but how many LeBrons exist in the world? Fair point. Donovan is 6'1" and helped his team win as a rookie. That's impressive, like MJ type stuff. Fair point. And Money said he's been disappointing in context with his play within the system and on both sides. As an individual, he's played completely solid. I see what you're saying. Give me 1 second. Let me grab this actually. This computer charger because my computer's about to die. I didn't recognize that before I even started the stream. I don't need this done. Not today. Not today. All right. Now we're back. Lee said Chet was able to gain weight and muscle his redshirt year, like Ben was able to, giving him an unfair advantage being an NBA chefs in training. That's where I think it's different. Okay, yeah. Then me and you are on the same page definitely with that one because you're living an entirely different life when you're in the NBA but not playing yet. Because basically, he just experienced what it's like to be the 15th man on the bench last year. That's all. Which is still an NBA experience, and you still get better from it. And you're still a solid player. And because he needed size and strength and stuff, it just gave him the opportunity to get it. I'd wager. So yeah, we're on the same page then, Lee. I'm with you. Same with Ben. Yes, absolutely. He is nice though. Yeah, yeah, Derek, you're right. Oh, Macy, you're a paramedic too in Poland. Nice. You are from Poland. You did say that before. Well, we appreciate you as well. Thank you. Um, that's the way I've seen multiple sources word it, but I feel like the deal would be done more so to get Hendricks involved more. Yeah. Funny because a lot of jazz fans were very opposed to the Collins trade, and now the Jazz regret it. LOL. It's wild, man. Speaking of rookies contributing to winning, Taylor Hendricks' momentum is building absolutely wild. Yeah, just wait until he gets his offense down. Like today, he had a pretty decent offensive game. It wasn't great, but it was decent, right? Imagine when he really gets it down. Imagine when he's shooting 45% from the field and you give him 10 shot attempts, you give him 12 shot attempts, you give him 13, 14 ish shot attempts. And he's bringing that help side defense, and he's bringing that lockdown defense man to man, and in zone concepts. Forget about it. What are we talking about at that point? You know what I'm saying? Um, these lives are the highlight of my night. Does it make me pathetic, or does it make show quality as channel, or both? There's nothing wrong with that, man. I realize as you get older, unless if you have a family, your family becomes your life. It becomes a really big part of your identity. But if not, you literally your life revolves around if you go to school, you go to school. But if not, it's work, grocery store, home. See old family and friends every now and then. That's it. Life gets really mundane. So no, I wouldn't even say that because it's a normal experience. So if this is like that like safety bubble that lets you enjoy something else because it's different. It's a little extra seasoning, you know what I'm saying? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, Lee. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Cuz like it's important to have that because you don't want to just be surviving in life. You want to be living. And I don't mean walking on the edge of skyscrapers and doing death-defying stunts. Just enjoying stuff, right? Because it's very easy, especially as guys, to go through the motions of life and nobody really appreciate what you do well. You just keep you go to work, you don't complain, you get the job done. When somebody complains and says you did something wrong, you don't sit there and you don't raise a huge fuss and say, well, I feel like I did it right. Da, da, da. You don't do that. You just do the job the way they said it to. So they get off your back and you keep powering you through the day. So if you find something along the way, for some people it's fishing. For some people it's going to the court and getting shots up. You know what I'm saying? Side note, nothing is worse than when you're having a terrible day and you go to the gym to get shots up and you miss all your shots, bro. I'm not gonna say that makes me want to end it all, but that be making me want to end it all because it's like I can't have anything at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's just goodness. I felt that one in with my whole chest. But yeah, man, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Derek, you said I didn't see the game tonight. Real quick, what was your main positive takeaways? Apologies in advance if you already covered it. No, you're good, man. That's why we're live for, bro. Um, did I already close out of stats tab? I don't think. I hope I didn't. I did not. Haha. All right, let me pull this up real quick. All right, so the biggest positives: Fontecchio shot terrifically from the floor, 7-8 from the field, 5-5 from the three-point line, 5-5 from the free throw line, 24 points, 5 rebounds. Right, no turnovers. Kelly Olynyk had a poor shooting night, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, but he had 10 boards, 7 assists, and no turnovers. So, chef's kiss, gotta love it. Walker Kessler across 3 quarters, only playing 26 and a half minutes, almost had a triple double, 10 points, 10 boards, 7 blocks. And he also had 4 assists, which is uncanny of him, but we love to see it anyways, right? That said, he was 5 of 6 from the field, and the only field goal he missed was a 3-pointer. Collin Sexton, 11 of 17 from the field in 32 minutes. Shot 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Had 27 points, team high. THT played alongside him as a starting point guard. Actually had a good shooting night, except from three. 9 of 19 from the field, works out to 47.5%. 6 from the 3-point line, but 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Had 2 boards to go along with 4 assists, 4 steals, and 3 turnovers to have 23 points overall. Yurt 7 was okay. Chris Dunn was okay. He played a little bit better comparing most of his situations. He did have 5 assists to 0 turnovers, which is a positive. Ochai was really solid today. In 26 and a half minutes, he had 7. He went 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 3 boards, 2 assists, only 1 turnover, and then he has 16 points overall. And really, the MVP of the bench alongside Ochai will probably be Taylor Hendricks, who played 25 minutes, went 4 of 9 from the field for 44.5%, 2 of 5 from 3, making this his overall best shooting night that he's had so far since he's got pulled up, to go along with 7 rebounds and 1 steal and only 2 turnovers, giving him 10 points. So lockdown defense, solid shooting on offense. Overall, a consistently reliable performance on his part. I think that was pretty concise. I think I locked that in. Oh, and Scoot Henderson also had I think that was his first double-double this season, 23 points, 10 boards, or excuse me, 22 points and 10 assists. 23 points and 10 assists. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hope I seasoned that up real nice for you, Derek. Christian, you said I'm gonna go to bed. Got my last final semester tomorrow morning. Bro, good luck, man. Knock it out of the park. And tell us what you get too. Yeah, we definitely need this win. Taylor Hendricks is most part going to be an all NBA defender. Honestly, comps to me being Antoine Jameson at his ceiling. Interesting. That's interesting. I don't think the Jazz regret the Collins trade. I think that this is bound to happen. They know they have a chance to get more out of him than they could have from Rudy Gay in a second. Most definitely. He improved. Plus, John Collins just improved his stock overall. Facts. It's work. Home store. Yeah. This is my escape. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Extra season and facts. My escape from life for these lives. These lives are much fun for me. Hey, that's good. Everyone here is my family, away from family. Yes, sir. What Derek said. Yes, sir, Lee. We're here for you, brother. Yep. It sucks. I get mad at my life. I go get shots up and brick all my threes, brick all my free throws. The only thing I'll hit this morning with my layups. Bro, we have it like that. 10 favorite players in the league. I blame my herniated disc and ACL strain. Yo, Lee be going through it, dog. 10 favorite players in the league. I don't have 10 per se. Definitely gotta have Collin Sexton in there. Give me De'Aaron Fox as well. LeBron. That's only 3. Who else do I really like? Paul George has been growing on me, but I don't know if I can put him in my favorite 10 players. Not top 10 in the league, but favorite 10. Giannis is in there. Really love watching Giannis play. Kyrie, that's 5. Is Russell Westbrook in there? Not quite. Crazy hot take, but Miles Bridges. Like watching him hoop. Insane. I know that's an insane pick. Who else is there? Maybe he's not top 10 and I'm just excluding somebody from my head. Let me just look up team logos that'll remind me. NBA. Curry's growing on me, but I still can't put him in my top 10. Thunder, Shea. Love me some Shea. That makes 6, right? I have to respect Jokic, but I hate it. I don't like Jokic. But I have to respect him because he's a darn good player, regardless of anything. Clippers, I said Paul George. Says somebody from the Kings, Nuggets, Nets, nobody, no. Anthony Edwards. Love me some Anthony Edwards. I like Rudy Gobert, but I can't put him top 10 for me. Jimmy Butler. Got to go Jimmy Butler. Celtics. I can't go Tatum. And then Cavaliers. I'm fond of Darius Garland. Not really somebody from the Bulls. But Zion Williamson, from the Pelicans. Somebody on the Suns, probably not. Knicks, no. Rockets, Jalen Green. I love Jalen Green. Watched him since he was in high school. I already said Giannis. I like Tyrese Halliburton, but I'm not quite there to put him in my top 10. That low key might be 10 right there, actually. Somebody on the Raptors, no. Pistons, I love the Thompson brother, but no. 76ers and Embiid, no. Jaden Springer from the 76ers, because he's from my section, just like Wendell Moore on the Timberwolves and Leaky Black on the Hornets. But yeah, just kind of all over the place. Got to show a lot of guys some love. And then, of course, I love Lowry, but that's a whole different thing. Let's see. Need to walk my dog. Great win for the Jazz. Hope next game will be W. See you guys next time. Yes, sir. May see you, bro. 7 block, sheesh. Yep, finally some defense. Needed it. Exactly. When he gets his shot to fall more, Taylor Hendricks' nickname will be Purple Rain. That would be tough. That would be tough. Jordan, are you coining that? Are you going to be the one to anoint him that title? I think you should be. Man, I love Hendricks' different play style from Keontae, obviously, but I feel like he has the same potential. Yeah. His ceiling might actually be higher than Keontae's because Keontae doesn't have that same level of defensive upside. Like, I don't expect Keontae to ever be a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tier lockdown defender, but I expect Taylor Hendricks to be. Yeah. Perfect game summary. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Glad I could do it. KCP from the Celtics. You should go. Okay. Porzingis. I do like Porzingis. I feel like there's somebody on the bench for the Celtics that doesn't get enough love. I respect Al Horford. I don't love him, but I respect him. With favorites, I'd say he said Tyrese Maxey on the Sixers. I really like I like Maxey. Maxey's been doing really good for us. Katie, Harden, Ant, Shea, Dunn, LeBron. Who's this one? Ja, really? PJ Tucker, Kawhi, and Kyrie. I can't go KD because of his past situations with the team, obviously having been on the Warriors. I'm growing to respect Kevin Durant more because I'm realizing he just likes to play basketball. And there's not a lot of Kevin Durants in the league that you run into where they're really darn good at the game, but they don't really care to get a supreme amount of championships or doing all that stuff. He just wants to come in there and bust somebody's ass. He just wants to come hoop. And it's so easy to get away from that because the NBA is it's in the entertainment industry. So the job is to put on a show. It's crazy to not even think about that. Harden, I don't like what he did with the Rockets. And then he kind of forced his way out of each team because there's apparently something wrong with everybody except for James Harden, of course. But I respect it. I respect it nevertheless. Ant, love that. Shea, love that. Dunn, love that. LeBron, love that. Kyrie, definitely love that. Kawhi, definitely love that. PJ Tucker, interesting pick. Interesting pick. I don't think anybody else I would ever talk to would say PJ Tucker's in their favorite 10 players, but I definitely respect that pick. Ja has his own issues, but I also understand why you would probably pick him. I respect that. Taylor's player prototype. Let's see. Taylor's player prototype is coveted. Yeah, lanky defender, shooter. He can rebound, interrupts passing lanes, etc. Does things that don't show up in the box score. Bingo. Couldn't have said it any better myself, Jordan. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Perfect example. A couple of games ago, he had 0 points. Like, I think he had 1 rebound and a steal in that game. And he played like roughly 18 to 20-ish minutes. But all the effort was in defense and getting deflections and things of that nature. But it doesn't show up. It doesn't show how much time you stalled a defender. Like, that's not a statistic. Even though it would be cool. Like, it just doesn't exist. Let's see. Gotta go with Brooks, Draymond, Sasa, Ben Simmons, and Grace. That's an insane 5. Derek is definitely trolling, but that's a crazy 5. Zaza Pachulia? Bro. Curry, Booker, Jokic, Russ, and Cam Whitmore. Interesting, Koozie. Interesting. Only have Tucker in there because he's his shoe collection. I can respect that. The man's got style. What can you say? Probably a Utah thing, but I love LeBron until he joined the Lakers. I have a first time Cavs LeBron jersey, Heat LeBron jersey, second time Cavs LeBron jersey. That's tough. That's tough, Lee. But when he went to the Lakers, I can't rock with him anymore. I understand. Love Shaden Sharps, Taylor Hendricks, Ochai, Jaden McDaniels. That's a good one. That's a sneaky good one. Desmond Bain. Those are good defensive wings. Biased towards the Jazz ones, obviously, but no, I understand. Just can't stand the Lakers. I don't know who taught me this hatred for the Lakers, but I blame it on being from Utah. Hendricks' hand speed is probably his best asset. Low key, underrated, very underrated. Good catch there, money. Good point to add to the conversation. Draymond not in anybody's top 10. Maybe a Warriors fan, but I don't even know if they're still on the side right now because he making the whole franchise look wild. Derek Lively, probably one of my favorite rookies. Same with Hawkins. Understandable. Starting to like Zion too. Definitely understandable. Bro, watching Zion play in high school was something crazy because I'm in North Carolina. He was in South Carolina, coming to North Carolina tournaments. Life is just something different, man. Something different. Definitely understandable. Oh, I didn't get to read Jordan's message before I got voided. Honestly, love Draymond. He's a great playmaker and probably stops LeBron from getting the Cavs championship. So, Draymond, I say thanks for that. Before him cooking the Wolves, he was playing like dog. He wasn't, though. His shooting splits were just down. Because he was available. Now, one thing that Zion has never been that everybody knew he wasn't going to be coming into the draft was a good defender. Like, yeah, he's going to have flashy blocks every now and then. But by and large, his foot speed isn't quick enough laterally to get stops the way that it needs to. So he's going to be a little bit of a cone on defense. Hendricks is an exceptional passer. Did you see how he swung the ball around without turning it over? Underrated. I would say he's at worst, he's a John Collins tier passer, as in the level of difficulty for passes that he can make, not in the how many assists he's going to give you on a nightly basis. Because there's going to be a lot of times where he makes the extra pass and ends up with a hockey assist, not a real assist. But yeah, definitely understandable for that. Andrew Bogut getting hurt gave the Cavs that championship, not Donkey getting suspended. You think it was Andrew Bogut? Interesting. From Canada, 10 p.m. is too late for me. Wait, Marco, are you close to the East Coast? What time is it for you right now? It's 2 a.m. for me. Is it 2:06 a.m. for you? I don't know how I just skipped over your first comment. I want Sexton on the Lakers. I want to see him with a contender. That would be nice. That would be nice, man. He said, Koozie said, good. He was during the season. No, I love Sexton. Don't put him on the Lakers. I don't want to hate him too. Elimination games at the very least. It's 2 a.m. there too. Okay. Oh, you're in Montreal. Okay, yeah. I'm by Charlotte, North Carolina, so we're on the same timeline. So yeah, it's almost my time as well. I'm not gonna lie. It was LeBron and Kyrie's greatness. Oh, that's the main language? I always wondered because I know there's a little bit of a melting pot in Canada as far as languages go, but I didn't know like if cities had like a dominant one. I tried being a Hornets fan. MJ beat it out of me. He beat it out of me when he couldn't develop anything. Yeah, I just surrendered. I gave in. Yes, Quebec. Great to see the Jazz playing with heart and passion again. Yep, finally a good one. My take all year is that I think Utah will sneak into the play-in during the back half. I think to get there, they're going to need to get return. They trade Collins, Olynyk, THT. I think Clarkson might be on the block too, but we'll see. How you not loyal? I feel like I wouldn't either. MH's final F. You Hornets fan. Being taking Brandon Miller. Yeah. Utah will still be lottery. It'll be interesting to see. Um the thing with the Hornets that I didn't like was MJ. MJ was a great NBA player. I'm not willing to say he was the greatest of all time. He was a really good system player. That said, he was a god awful executive. Always has been. That said, with the Hornets, he drafted Kemba Walker, had some rough drafts after that, drafted LaMelo, and now Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller's been better than I thought he was going to be, but overall, he's not perfected yet, obviously so, but for a rookie, he's doing some pretty good things. So we got to give credit where credit is due. Shout out Brandon Miller. But MJ by and large is a bad it's a bad one. My eye is bugging me. All right, my eyeball's back. Okay. Bro, Cody Zeller? That is a throwback, bro. When I saw him on the Heat, I was confused because that was a real throwback, bro. Back when we had Frank the Tank Kaminsky, bro. Back when we had Bismack Biyombo. I think we had him like 2 separate stints. Quebec, the only province in Canada where main language is French. Give me some. Bro, I have no idea any words of French. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was always a Spanish taker, so I learned Spanish growing up, like from 3rd grade on up. Brandon Miller has been better since Scoop, but yeah, MJ has been terrible at as an executive. Yeah, definitely with you on that one, Kuzi. If he was a GM for the Jazz, his tenure with the Hornets would make me question his entire NBA legacy. Yeah, most definitely. He's the reason why y'all don't have chips. High key. And now D Wade owns y'all. I'm out for the night. Trying not to fall asleep right now. Night, y'all. Appreciate what you do. As always, cool. God bless. Yes, sir, Derek. I appreciate you. And every time you donate, man. Wouldn't be able to do what I do now. Wouldn't be able to have the set that I have now without you. Love you, bro. Get some rest. Yeah. I still believe he came out of retirement because he poorly drafted. I don't think he came out of retirement because he really just wanted to hoop again. I got to stand on that one. But, who's to say, who's to know? Either way, bad drafting with the Wizards especially. He said for charity too. Convenient. MJ for charity with that gambling addiction of his. But no, I kid. We had a pretty successful night, boys. I would say so. Yeah, nothing too crazy, nothing too insane, over the top, or wild. I was pretty happy with the way everything went today. Overall, we've gone from 830 subscribers to 833 today, which we'll have to do because I am tired. Let's see, 80, 54, 6. Yeah, we're just out here vibing, man. Just out here riding the wave. Favorite monster drink? Mine would have to be this one, the Ultra Sunrise. Just because I got it one time for a friend and then didn't end up giving it to the friend, and I tried it just because I spent my money on it. And I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty good. So I kept it going. So I think Sexton has to stay. He has better chemistry with Key. It sucks Key got hurt because you could tell the Jazz were pushing the pace. To play last game, I want to see how Key plays fast pace. Yeah. Blazers being the Blazers. Yeah, because he was set to own part of the Wizards. They still stink. 834 now. Mm-hmm. Get more subs over the course of the weekend. Think so? I'm inclined to bite. Any dating advice? Well, I have a lot of dating advice. What is your question? What is your question, sir? I've also experienced, I'm that one friend that has some of the greatest advice, but at times will not follow my own advice and will directly tell you why I'm failing at what I'm doing. That's my fatal flaw. I'm willing to say. Um, let's see. Advice: don't put yourself through that depression. Long distance? Ooh, that's a tough one. Long distance, you can't get too attached, right? Because there's only but so much you can do. There's ways to do long distance dates, but it's there's not. Okay, are we talking like college long distance, or are we talking like adult in your mid 20s long distance? Are we talking like 30s long distance? What kind of long distance? Because these are different. Let me know, Freddie. Jordan, you said keep Sexton. He's young enough for our youth movement and also old enough to lead. Agreed. Plus, he has that energy and that aura about him. It's the never quit energy. Never quit, never roll over. He's gonna keep going at it until he's absolutely shut out from paradise. You're gonna have to make him believe that he can't do it. Women are blah nowadays. They're stuck in the 304 stage. If my generalization doesn't fit most women, good for them. But I'm happily married. Couldn't imagine dating nowadays, bro. The dating pool is tough. Adult, both done it with school. How do I put it? Life is easiest when, let's see, Lee, what you said. I had a long distance relationship. It rarely works out. Set your expectations low. If it works out, it works out. The biggest thing is trust. Yes, I would agree with Lee on that part. Trust is the most important thing. Understand that nobody is immune to temptation. And under the right circumstances, anybody is liable to do anything, right? Most people would say, I would never kill anybody. I would never commit murder. But in the right circumstances, if somebody was to threaten the life of your child or to threaten to take the life of somebody that you care about, you would probably go to further lengths to prevent it. Similarly, did they just remove the word because you put feminism in there? Jordan, did you delete that or did they delete that? You said I'm getting off topic now. No, I understand. It's rough because the movement nowadays is not the movement of old. The older movement was they want women to be able to do what men can do. Cool. We gave it to them. Then they said, well, we still want the privileges that we had before while being able to do what you do. That's not how the world works. That's not how the world works. And what a lot of women don't understand is that women have rights because guys give them rights. That's how it works. Because if at any point, if all the guys unanimously decided, you know what, women, no more voting. Women can't vote anymore. The strongest women might be around the strength of like an average guy, the average Joe that goes to the gym every now and then, but not often, right? Not on a consistent basis, not on a workout plan. The strongest man solos any woman. So if men decided, you know what, y'all can't work anymore, you're going to stay in the house now, women couldn't stop them. Now, because women don't consciously think about this, they also don't have the same grace and energy and aura about themselves that they had before. There was a certain level of confidence there, but it was also an understanding of I am privileged enough to be in a situation to where I can do these things and I don't have to. Now the new age situations push women to say, if you're just a mother, that's not enough. Why aren't you chasing the bag at the same time? And it's like, first of all, we've got terrible children running out here, which means the mothers aren't mothering the way they need to. So stop telling them they need to get a job and tell them to be better mothers and tell them to focus their lives around their children to be the most productive members of society once they leave the home, right? But instead we're saying, no, you're not raising your kids. You're not raising your kids well enough. Put them in daycare and get a job. That's what you should do. It's a great idea. And your man that works 40, 50, 55 hours a week and comes home and he's too tired to play with the kids or he's too tired to do this, that, and the third, that's not a man for you. There's a man that's going to do everything for you. And it's like, there's also a fish with rainbow scales. But let me tell you this. What are the odds that somebody from Wyoming sees it? Wyoming is landlocked. Hint, hint. Highly unlikely. It's out there though. It sounds good, but it's not realistic that you're going to run into it. And too many women don't give each other the harsh truth because I think from an emotional standpoint, understandably so, because when you deal with children, you have to be more privy to that sort of situation. But if you're not, things get a little wonky, which is why fathers also have an easier time because fathers are also willing to accept help. Not only are we more, do we get put more in situations where it's like, let the child make mistakes and learn from said mistakes. Mothers will try and prevent the child from making mistakes. And when they make mistakes, they try to cushion the fall, which sometimes it is necessary. Other times, though, the kid has to fall flat on their face, pick themselves up, cry, wipe their tears off. You dust them off and tell them, come on, climb back up. And they climb back up, right? The other thing is fathers will openly admit that they do not know what's going on. If they don't know, if they don't know how to change a diaper, how to, how they're going to get the kid to work or whatever, or to school, to daycare, whatever it is, they will ask anybody under the sun. Women feel like they have to do it on their own or else they're a failure because they couldn't do it on their own. And that's not the case, but they have it in their heads that people are going to look down on them because they asked for help. So it puts them in a weird situation where they say, I can not only can I do it on my own, but I'm gonna have to do it on my own, and nobody's gonna stand in my way. And it's like, well, no, people want to help, but you're saying that you don't need the help. You don't need a man. You don't need this, that, and the third. It's like, but it would help. I don't need $1,000,000, but it would help. You know what I'm saying? I don't need an Aston Martin, but it would help. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. I don't know. You said wanting the cake and eating it too, not gonna lie. I want it too, lol. Exactly. It's understandable, but we have the presence of mind to understand that it's not realistic. Our stock isn't that high. For some reason, women will look each other in the eye and they'll look an obese girl in the face who may or may not borderline have diabetes, may or may not have crippling depression, may or may not have good hygiene, and say, you're a 10. And any man that says that you're not a 10 tell him to go F himself because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's like, find me 3 men in your city that will call that woman a 10. I don't even think a homeless man will call her a 10, and he's homeless. But, to each their own. Yeah, agree, man. Problem solvers or try to be. We like to fix stuff, yes. And men also like to feel like they're needed. In today's society, the new age of social constructs push for women to say, we don't need men to do this, that, and the third. The whole point of having a guy is to have him do stuff, even if you can do stuff on your own. That's why, like, girls sometimes they can do certain things on their own. They can reach the top shelf if they climb on the counter. They can reach the back of the fridge and grab something. They can, mount a TV. But sometimes if a girl is really feeling you, they'll be like, hey, can you grab this off the shelf for me when you get a second? And they'll just stand there and look at the shelf. She can climb up there, but she also knows she doesn't have to because she has you. That gives you that little extra, little extra happiness. It's like, oh, not only she could have did this on her own, but she asked me to do it. I feel like she's allowing me to assist, to be of service. And then another thing that a lot of younger women don't understand is it's a very simple principle. Positive reinforcement, right? You learn it in psychology class. A lot of them didn't pay attention in psychology class. The simple fact of the matter is, if you like what a guy does and you want him to do more of it, be really freaking excited that he did it. If he got you flowers and you really want him to get you flowers, act like it is the best thing since sliced bread. And in his head, he's going to think, she gets really happy when I buy flowers. So if she was sad, I buy flowers. If I want to make her happier and she's already happy, I buy flowers. That's the mental connection that's made. That's what gets saved in the hard drive, and that's the thing that he's going to keep cycling back to. But if he gives you flowers and you're like, "Oh, thanks, babe," and then you put them in the vase and you go about your day, it had no effect. So he's not going to keep buying you flowers because it doesn't do anything. Why would I buy you something if it's not going to do anything for us? That makes no sense. But they don't think that way. They say, "Well, you should have known I wanted flowers." Of course I wanted flowers. What girl doesn't want flowers? Of course we wanted flowers. Of course I want to go to the beach. Why wouldn't I want to go to the beach? It's like, well, did you tell me you wanted to go on a date to the beach? No. Well, how would I know? And they're like, well, you should know. You claim to know me. We've been together for such and such amount of time. It's not that simple. And if it was, everybody would do it. But if everybody's having the same problem, we all need to recalibrate the settings. Like a puppy, give me some treats and say good boy, I'm happy. It's really that simple. I don't think a lot of girls understand. If you just literally play in a guy's hair, scratch his back, and tell him that you appreciate. He came home from work, whatever the case may be. Have him lay in your lap, scratch his hair, scratch his back, whatever the case may be. Just rub on him. Be like, I appreciate you. I know I don't say it often, but I appreciate you. You know how? Right there. Right there. Go to sleep right there, man. Greatest feeling in the world. That's all. Kuzi, I didn't mean to skip over you, but I did miss your second question. I think they might have pulled it out. What was your second question? And then to go back to Freddie, because I know I kind of touched on your question, but I didn't actually answer it. I didn't mean to do that. I just got on a little bit of a tangent. The best advice, similar to what Lee said, set low expectations. Understand that trust is everything, and there's a high probability that you guys will not succeed. That said, do not assist in the process of that failure to succeed, right? Give it a genuine effort, but don't overcompensate when things fall apart. Understand that everything happens for a reason, and it was going to be a rough ride to begin with. It was going to be a roller coaster. That's what you both signed up for. And if it must end on good terms. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything brash. Don't do anything to hurt the other person. Understand that you are both complex creatures with your own motivations who are both equally susceptible to different forms of temptation. Sometimes temptation gets the best of people, right? We like to all think that we would all do the right thing always in every situation, but that quite frankly just isn't the truth. It's not realistic. With that in mind, just being the best person you can is really the best thing that you can do in those situations. Because if you're focused on getting better yourself, she's focused on getting better herself, you guys will meet in the middle at all times. And as long as you both want it to work, no matter how pissed one of you guys is, if you can sit there for a second and think, if my significant other died right now and I got that phone call, would the argument we just had matter at all? Would that disagreement matter at all? If the answer to that question is no, take a deep breath, pick up the phone. Babe, I know we got into it. I don't like what you said. I don't appreciate the way you spoke to me. But I know that if something were to happen to you after that last conversation we had and I never got to speak to you again, it would hurt me very much. And I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So with that said, whenever you feel comfortable talking it out or having a conversation about it, I would love to have the opportunity to hash it out with you. But I just want you to know that I love you and I look forward to talking to you later on. You don't even have to wait for a response at that point. Just tell her, I love you. I'll talk to you. Just call me when you feel comfortable. Hang up the phone or send it over text and then just put your phone down. That's the best thing you can do. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you did the best that you could do. You can't control anybody else. Just keep doing what you can do. That's it. What's meant to be will be, and what's not will fall apart and fall into place where it needs to be. Because you said it might be a personal question, but are you currently dating or focusing more on the grind right now? Well, since I know she's asleep right now and she won't watch the video, I find myself in very interesting situations because with my particular life, I'm the oldest of 7. So my issue that I find in dating is I'm the fixer. If you know anything about the fixer, a lot of guys end up in that situation. It sucks because for a lot of guys, it's a situation where you see a girl's flawed and you don't want to fix it because it's like, that's too much work. Why would I try and fix you? But when you're the fixer or you've been the older sibling and you're used to caring for people, it puts you in a position where it's like, she's hurt. This is a damaged bird. I want to nurse her back to health. I can fix her. You cannot fix her. I thought I could fix her. I could not fix her. I still try to fix her sometimes, even though we're not together and can't fix her. But just got to let it rock, you know? For me personally, I'm just kind of focusing on the grind, making sure I do the best that I can content-wise, building a strong foundation because I realize a lot, they say money doesn't buy happiness. And to a certain extent, that's true. Women don't really care about money. They care about what money can do for them. That's what I say. Money buys things and experiences. Women like things and experiences. Therefore, they like men with money because he can provide things and experiences. A lot of guys think in the mindset of, oh, if I flash this cash, she's going to love me. That's not the case. She's going to love what you can do for her. And one person brought up a good point. I can't remember who it was, but I was watching a video, I believe on IG or on YouTube. And he said it was like a podcasty kind of format, but it was a one-on-one. And the guy was getting interviewed. And he was like, the most interesting thing about human beings is that we feel like the purest form of love is when somebody loves us despite anything that we do. Whether we're in the right, whether we're in the wrong, no matter what the motivation was, no matter what mistakes we make, we feel like the purest form of love is somebody that loves us regardless of what we do. But we don't extend that same level of gratitude towards ourselves. Ask yourself this question. Do I love myself for what I do and the value that I create? Or do I love myself just because? If you're a guy, the answer is probably for what you do. You feel almost worthless if you can't provide any sort of value to a conversation, to a situation. If you can't solve somebody's problems and you're just sitting there listening to somebody's problems, it irritates you a bit because you want to do something to help, but sometimes there's literally nothing you can do to help. And in those situations, you feel so useless, so worthless. And it's like, if I could do something, I would do it, but there's nothing. And when he said it, it really struck a chord with me because it's genuine. For me, I would rather, I had made a thought on it. I had thought on it a while ago, and it was a thing of, I want people to feel, I want people to understand me, but also value me for what I can do. And I am comfortable with understanding that once I can no longer provide for you what I do, I am okay with you throwing me to the side because I have served my course. Nothing can beat Father Time. LeBron James is putting on a very good showing, right? But I'm not LeBron James. I'm just a guy. Yeah, just a thought. Both grinding. These are good nuggets for sure. Banger advice. Appreciate it. Oddly enough, my ex-wife was the oldest, so she cheated on me. Want to say LMAO, but the divorce just cleared. And right now, my mind is forgetting the state because of it. Jesus. That hit different. They do say that the oldest daughters, or if the oldest child is a daughter, she's like very difficult to deal with in relationships. Hint, hint, my most recent situation was with the oldest. It was not fun. Definitely wasn't fun. But these things rarely are. We had a lot going on today, guys. We went from the Jazz to the Lakers to our best players to dating advice to relationship advice to a bit of psychology. We done had it all on here. It's good though. Every girl I dated was the oldest. Wow. I'm not gonna lie, you're not too different from me. I have a type and I don't like it. I don't like it. My wife is youngest in her family. How does that work? Is it good? I would assume it's a little bit, the dynamic would be different because I would assume, I don't know, of course, I would assume that it probably has more of a softer demeanor because she was more spoiled, but she could also have more of a little bit of a, like a kind of attitude as opposed to yelling, I guess. I don't know. Drop some knowledge on us, Jordan, if you will. If it's not too personal, of course. Right out here giving relationship advice and life tips while Hoops Nerd has to get up in 3 hours to mow lawn. I'm weak. Hey man. At the end of the day, he get more views than me, so I can't rightfully talk anything about anybody until I pass them on a leaderboard. I'm gonna get there. It's gonna take me a little minute, but I'm on the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the way. Trust and believe that. Absolutely, positively. Wraith relationship advice might just create a channel. I was thinking about starting a different channel. So I'm rebranding my podcast because it's really just me that did it. It wasn't my siblings that did it with me. So it'll probably just be me and I'll have a different guest on each week. And then I'll have this basketball channel specifically for the Jazz. I'll have another one every Friday. I'll drop a video in depth about just any particular team in the NBA. Not really, not really like team based, so to speak. And then I was thinking about having like a reaction and gaming channel, but I'm not to that point yet. So I'm putting that in the vault. So that's 3 channels. So the fourth one, I was going to do like more of like I wanted to do like a big brother, big sister kind of thing where it's like giving advice and knowledge and just talking out points. But then I was like, because I wanted to ultimately have something to show my kids about my mindset when I was younger in life without being old and being like, when I was your age, I did da da da. No, I'll just run the tape back and just they can see their dad talk when he was in his 20s. You know what I'm saying? I thought that would be cool. But then I was like, maybe I could do it and make it like an entirely different entity, like wear a mask or something, just like a simple like a playwright mask or something, or maybe sit in a chair and turn the chair away from the camera, but have the mic in front of me and just talk about life. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, but I want to do that. I don't know when I'll do it. I might do it starting in January. Cause I remember in one of my earliest videos, I don't remember who the user was, but he said he could listen to me read like bedtime stories or something. He could listen to me read a whole book. And he was like, you should do that sometime. And I've been thinking about it ever since. But I obviously never had the opportunity to because just trying to hone in on one thing at a time. And since this page is already almost monetized, I feel comfortable enough to start and focus on and at the very least get a video out for the second YouTube channel and rebrand the podcast. And then just go from there. Talking with the chair turned around, cold. That's what we're feeling. I could see it. I could see it. He said, so she had to learn a lot when my daughter was born. Ah. When it came to parental stuff, I was more knowledgeable because I'm the oldest in my family. Question, Jordan. Does she take well to leadership, would you say? Like, does she trust you at your word? Like, even if she disagrees, is she willing to let you prove yourself wrong before she does things her way, or does she argue the point with you? Cold as in fuego? Yes, sir. Sounds good to me. I just gotta find a good chair. I was thinking about it. I have and I think it's my intro video. And my intro video to this channel, if you go on the home page, like for people that aren't subscribed, it's like if you type in introduction in my video, like searching through my videos or whatever, the video has 93 views, I believe. But I'm sitting in like one of those smaller, it's like a circular chair and it's like a little rocking chair, kind of. I could do that one, or I could do my gaming chair. Or what if I took like a dim, like if I took like an almost see-through curtain and drew it across and had a chair on the other side of the curtain and just sat and faced the camera? Does that make sense? Like, if that camera, like you guys are looking at me, you see a white curtain across, you see a dark figure walk across and sit in a chair directly in front of the camera. And then he leans into the mic and he starts talking. What about that? Is that hard? Or is that kind of weird? That might be weird. I don't know. Just a thought, brainstorming. Unrelated, what's the best hairstyle in your opinion for black guys? Like out of waves, cornrows, dreads, freeform dreads, Travis Scott braids, even afros. Epic, you said that also goes hard. I think that might be pretty sustainable to do too. I would say either waves, can't go wrong with waves because it shows that there's two types of women. I've realized there's two types of black girls. The ones that hate waves because they think you're a little bit of a 304, or the ones that respect that might not like waves, but they at the very least respect that it takes a lot to get waves and get them to look good. Those ones, same thing as guys that get manicures, right? I don't have one right now, but every now and then I don't have the money for it, put plainly. But I used to consistently go and get a manicure. I get my nails cut down and get my cuticles like taken care of, and then get a clear coat. And I ran into two different types of women. One of them would say, "Oh, you get your nails manicured?" And I was like, "Yeah, I always get a clear coat though." And they're like, "Oh," and to them that tells them I have good hygiene, and I'm also probably very well endowed with my hands. Um, the other ones say, "You got nail polish on?" And from their facial expression, I automatically know how the interaction is going to go. And I say, "Yes, ma'am, absolutely." They say, "Are you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just clean. I'm not dirty." I do stuff with my hands, but I also clean my hands afterwards. You can look at my nails right now. They clean. And if you feel my palms are soft, but that doesn't stop me from doing yard work. I just clean up afterwards. That's all. And I disarm them just like that. I don't yell at them. I don't, none of that. Just simple. You know what I'm saying? But hairstyles, either waves. I'm not really a freeform dread kind of guy. Some people can pull it off, but it's not something everybody can pull off. If you have a good braid stylist and you stick with her for a while and she knows the texture of your hair, you can try a lot of different braid patterns though. So I would say waves, simple 2-strand twists, braid patterns, and then probably the Travis Scott box braids. After that, it's kind of like dreads. Some people can pull them off though. Like if they have square parts and they get their dreads retwisted and they keep up with it, especially if they twist the dreads, that can be a fire look. But everybody can't pull it off, and that's just why I can't put it at the top of the list. And not everybody can pull off an afro either. Now, a girl that can pull off an afro, it's hard. It's hard, especially these days, because a lot of girls don't have good hair. They don't take care of it. Good night, Lee. Appreciate you, brother. A lot of girls can't pull off an afro. So a girl that can pull off an afro, guys that can pull off an afro, I assume automatically they're clean for one and they're stylish for two. Gotta be. Automatically. You said some people can't pull off starter locks. Exactly. So that phase can be bad for short hair. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. But everybody has to go through that ugly stage, just like with a beard. I probably will never have like a full beard. Kind of always wanted one. Two of my siblings are younger than me, and all of them are younger than me, but two of the younger ones have like a full-ish beard or full-er. I just realized I'm gonna be a goatee and mustache guy till the day I kick the bucket. That's the way it's looking. I'm not mad about it. It's just like, dang, just being able to see myself with a full beard just one time, just like rub against my beard, be tough. But didn't get the cards to go that way. That said, he said he has an early meeting tomorrow. Nice. 18? Hey, there you go. Let's see. I didn't mean to skip over Vesper and Jordan, by the way. Vesper, he says Simone definitely played his way into many years as an NBA player. Most definitely. He said Ice Spice. I saw the Ice Spice photos without makeup. She's cooked. That's all I got. Nothing wrong with a goatee and mustache. Yeah. I just wanted to see myself. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, I have hair, but I also wonder what it would look like if I had 360 waves. I haven't had them since I was like a senior in high school, and they weren't that tough. You said I was still smashed, not going to lie. I appreciate the honesty. I'm not going to say I wouldn't or would. No comment. No comment. That said, Jordan did respond to me. He said she did. She asked many questions. She didn't know how to change a diaper. I mean, she's South American. Oh, so sometimes feisty, but overall she's very traditional and likes to be led. That also helps. A woman that leans on you for support as opposed to one that tries to stand alone and you have to pull her in to lean on you are two different types of people, especially the ones you have to borderline like yank against you when you know they're about to crumble just so that they don't fall apart. Those are the hardest relationships I've found. Said I have a full beard, goatee, and mustache. Much better looking. LeBron needs to go back to that look too. What about cornrows? You get those every now and then. Sometimes I really like stitch braiding, like where it kind of looks like you have like miniature parts going through within the braid. Like stitch braid cornrows, definitely can't go wrong with that. Utah Jazz Enjoyer says he really likes your vids. He's going to bed, but says it's good to have someone who actually has a personality and isn't stereotypical white dude. Also grow my beard for year 3, still patchy. Hey, it's gonna get there. It's gonna get there, man. Faster than mine will. Hey, glad Utah Jazz enjoyed watching the vids, man. Definitely. Shows a pic of you rocking an apple. The craziest thing is I don't have one. I don't even have like a lot of pictures. Gotta go to bed, got work tomorrow. Fun chat, bro. Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I have to be up in 3 hours for work myself. I'm acting like I got all the time in the world. But yeah, it's nice. Don't you got a bit? I don't. Like I have nothing. You know what? Do I have one? When is the last time I took my hair out? That'll tell me. That'll tell me the last time I took my hair out. Because I every now and then I'll get my hair blow dried, right? And when I get it blow dried, sometimes I'll take a picture. I might have to show y'all this one. But I wanted a blow dried afro pic to show y'all. I don't have one. Okay. This is a terrible photo. Don't get on it. But like is it focusing? Like my hair is long, probably like down to like the bottom of my face or like shoulder length actually, but I rarely get it blown out just because like heat damage and stuff like that. But every now and then I just like to see how long it is. Was it a braid out? Yeah, kind of similar. Suffers from the who suffers worse on the second night of a back-to-back? Sexton, who's playing 35 minutes both nights, or Wraith, who's getting a combined 5 hours of sleep? Nah, that got it. That got it. Hey, man. Man, tell Colin to hit the DMs, bro. Tell him I got the content. Tell him we're here, bro. Tell him to pop in sometime. Spend 30 minutes. Tell him to come in and not even tell us he's Colin. Come in with a name like Michael or something. I don't know. And just enjoy it. Bro, 3 hours. How do you live with such little sleep? Getting less than 3 hours gives me PTSD in the early days of my son. Man, look. What if I told you I'm Collin Sexton? Or my bad, Michael? I'll be like, dang, bro. Are you enjoying the show? I always aim to impress. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I try to do with my channel. Like regardless of what channels I end up making, I want them to be personable. I want people to feel like they have some sort of connection and not just that I'm like copy and paste, slap it on the screen. I don't want that. That's not fun. I'd much rather it seems like I have like a little bit of a pulse. I got a personality. I got something that you can relate to or not relate to, or that somebody you can talk to about anything. I can't help you all the time. I'll try though. Man, Lee, sometimes I wonder how I do it. Collin Sexton would subscribe and like and give $1,000 super chat. The way I defend Collin Sexton, he might just. I'm not gonna lie, that might not be the craziest thing. Let's see. The Jazz do not play today. Today was the second half of a back-to-back. However, they do play. I'll tell you right now. Oh, they play tomorrow. They play 3 games in a row. They play the Kings Saturday, which unfortunately I will not be live for, and it's at 10 p.m. So yeah, I'd definitely be busy, unfortunately. And then the next day the next time they play on Monday against the Nets, and I will be live for that one. I will be live for that one. Absolutely, positively. Why did the dude I'm supposed to be hooping with later today just like my message? Well, my boy Dallo, who created my banner for this channel, said that he has other stuff. He has stuff to do. Said that sounds really great. Just finished 2 song covers. I was looking to take in something else. I'm down for it. Nice. Sounds awesome. Let me know how it starts out. All right, cool. Let's see. So Cole, you're gonna have more time to sleep tonight. Today's brain fart. Today's Friday. I'm going to be recording 2 podcasts today. I'm gonna go to work, hoop, record the first podcast, then send my friend on his way. Then I gotta coach the track practice. Then I'm going to go and have my other friend come over, and then we're gonna record an episode tonight. And those will probably drop around Christmas time, more than likely. That's what I'm leaning towards, most likely. But yeah, I'm asleep. Track coach? Yep. Indoor track. We were having a fundraiser for the kids. Sometimes the kids irritate me so much because like we're having one of those GoFundMe style fundraisers, right? And they don't understand. I said send out 20. It's one of those like you send out 20 emails or phone numbers and they can choose to donate to the fundraiser. And I was like, even if you send out 20 emails and 2 of them message you back and send $50 total, right? Let's say each kid gets $50. That means automatically, as a team, we've earned $2,000, and like only 6 of the kids have done it, and they're all girls. So shout out to the girls because they've been on their stuff, and I'm gonna use it for them. But like, yeah. So now actually, instead of doing security on Saturdays, I have track meets every Saturdays because I'm the head coach for indoor track, and I'm the only coach. I have 40 kids. Yeah, another thing to add to the plate, right? But I have them. Good night, Lee. I have that, and so I usually get to the indoor track around 8 a.m. set up. They come in, and then I see them and watch everybody run until like 5-6 p.m. Then I take the hour drive back. High school, yeah, yep. One of my kids committed to Liberty University to run track there. I've got 2 more. I got a guy and a girl that I'm really trying to make sure they get an offer. And we'll see how it goes. If the guy doesn't get one during indoor, I'm going to feel like I kind of let him down because he's genuinely he's kind of like that. Like he's like that. Like potentially 10-second 100 running like that. Hey, small world, Kuzi. Small world. Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I'm gonna spend my Saturdays. And I'll probably edit a podcast or something during the weekdays. I'm gonna do security a little bit more over winter break because I need the money and I don't know how much my teacher annual leave time is going to cover for my paycheck. And I don't need to come back in January and they give me, 1 week's pay when we were out of school for 2 weeks. So I can't live off that. So I'm gonna work the security job probably I think he has me working 2 days next week actually, which is cool. Yep. So weekdays I'm a teacher, weekends I'm a security guy, and then right after the school day ends, I coach track from 2:30 to 4. School starts at 7, so that's usually life. So I'm running all the time, ripping and running. But it's good. Like it keeps me on my toes, and it's never a dull moment. But it also I'm a very good. I would say that I'm a good listener, and I pay very close attention to detail, which allows me to be very attentive in times like this. You said, "Damn, how do you got time to do this too?" Hey, man. What do the ladies say? If he wanted to, he would. Period. Nah, but I edit my videos. So usually, say it's a school day, go two of my siblings actually go to school that I work at. So go there, go to class. If I don't have a video recorded, I'll just research or write a script while I'm in class. When I get out, I come home, sit down, boom, set my camera up, all that stuff, hook everything up, boom, record a 15-minute video. The next day, when I'm at school, edit the video, come up with a new topic for the next video. Once I edit the video, go ahead and upload it and set the timer for about 4 p.m. ish. And then all the members for the channel get it first. And then it releases to everybody else at 4 p.m. That's the dream usually. I haven't been like really great about it lately, but do it like that. Then go to practice, go home, record the next video, and then do the same thing the next day. Yeah. Time consuming? Absolutely. But it's different. It's different. You know? You got to make things interesting. So last year they had me in the math department, but now they have me with like the online kids. So there's like the kids that take the AP or advanced placement classes, like the ones for college credit. They have me in a room with all those sorts of kids and kids that are taking like honors online classes. So I have all of them. Anytime they have a question about their work, anything like that, they come to me. Anytime they have problems with their computers, they come to me, anything like that. And then honestly, a lot of times I have like this, obviously, since it's the smarter kids, I don't have like the kids that are taking credit recovery. They don't really need my help that much, which is why I'm able to edit and write my scripts during most of the time in there. The only drawback to that is the fact that I don't have a planning period because obviously I don't teach a specific subject. I'm just a floater basically. So by and large, the entire day I'm just sitting in the room with them. And like you make friends with some of the kids as you go, and then you impart knowledge and you have little conversations and you let them live their lives and you kind of just chuckle and laugh with them. And it's cool. It's one of those things where it's like I know like I'm doing a lot. Like I'm willing to admit that because with one of my fellow teachers, I literally came back to work at the high school I graduated from. So one of the teachers that was there that I was like, that's like a big brother to me. I was explaining to all the stuff I was doing. He's like, bro, you have too much on your plate. And I was like, maybe. And then I got life punched me dead in my mouth. And like I had the car that I still don't have back yet. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I texted him one day and I was like, you were right. How old? 23. Yep, 23. 24, March 22nd. But yeah, it was just, it's going to be worth it. That's the one thing I always tell myself. Because if you don't believe it's going to be worth it, why the hell are you doing it for? You know, one of those kind of things. Plus, I'll probably break down and just like mentally just implode if it doesn't. See, you still young? Yeah. Yep. I'm telling myself by 26, that gives me like 2 years, 4 months ish, 2 years, 3.5 months to be quote unquote rich or have my life set. Once that happens, it'll be good. Oh, my fault. Yeah, it's a force of habit. And also because I'm like a younger one, a lot of times I either get mistaken for a student in the hallway by teachers that don't see me often, or um some people don't realize I'm the coach of the team. They think I'm one of the athletes, and I have a not I have a not so great relationship with some of the coaches because I feel like they don't treat my sport like it matters. And that's why, like in the yearbook pictures, I told all the kids, don't smile. Like I'm so serious. We were taking a picture in the gym or whatever for our day, and I was like, don't smile. I was like, they were like, are we smiling or not? And I was like, hey, we not smiling because ain't shit funny. I said it just like that. Now, obviously, you're not supposed to curse in front of the kids, but I let them know. And then after the fact, when we were on the field or whatever, when we were on the track, I was talking to them. I was like, because every time we go around, they act like we don't exist. They act like indoor track isn't a thing. They act like people don't be running, right? They act like we don't be putting in work. They act like every time y'all go to a meet and y'all perform well, it doesn't matter. So I'm not about to sit here and cater to these people. Ain't nothing funny. Ain't shit funny. It's funny when we win. It's funny when we send people to states and you guys win states and you guys come back with medals and y'all go to school with y'all medals. And then all the other coaches that had their teams out get bounced in the playoffs. Then it's going to be funny. Then we'll see what's happening. Then I'm going to be cheesing and kikiing my ass off. Because what? No. Everybody's putting in work. We not BSing over here. Just because I look young in the face and I have a genuinely I have a happier, more polite demeanor, and I'm not talking to you like I'm about to rob you. Doesn't mean I'm not serious. I'm dead serious. It's not a game. You know what I'm saying? It's a sport. It's not a game. It's different. But yeah, I consciously train myself to say my kids or sometimes I'll call them baby monkeys. I'll call them my bumblebees or whatever. Just like random animal names. Or a goldfish. I call them gold. Like whenever they say something so stupid or like they're just not using their head, I'm like, "You're such a goldfish. You are one of my favorite goldfish." And they don't get that I'm calling them like brainless. It's funny. You said you look like Cam Thomas too. Man, look, that's the vibe. That's the vibe that it is. And like when Cam Thomas said it, I said, nah, he's spitting right now. Cause it ain't funny. I'm not winning. If I'm not winning, it ain't funny. And I realized like a lot of coaches don't hate losing. They just like winning. I grew up and my whole thing was if I lose, so to speak, like in an academic setting, that means I was going to get yelled at when I got home, or I was going to get cursed out, or I was going to be held accountable for having a poor grade. So I wanted to have good grades, not because I liked having good grades or because I liked 100. No, I got good grades because I didn't want the negative consequence that came with me not doing it. Basically to say, I hate losing more than I like winning. I'm willing to tie, but I don't want to lose. And that's the mindset I take to everything I do. And that's the thing that I try to instill into the kids. And I feel like the ones that it hits and it sticks, because that'll be something that they can take with them no matter what facet of life they're working with. So it's like, no matter what happens, don't lose. And if you're going to, it's okay. Losing is going to happen, right? It's going to happen at some point. But don't you ever in your life sit there and roll over and let somebody roll you over. If you give it everything you got and it's just not in the cards for you, we can accept that. And I love you and I'm proud of you anyways. But don't you ever in your life roll over because somebody told you to roll over. You my dog. You not a pet dog. You my dog, as in I dap you up in the hallways when I see you. I give you a fist bump. I ask how your day is going. You're not nobody's pet dog where they say roll over and you do it. No, you don't got no shot collar on you. Don't. None of that. Man, we've been through like 30 different phases on this live alone. We different. I hear you. Heard? Man, the clock just be a ticking. It's good though. Yeah, man. He said, yeah, this live. We still got people here. I'm saying, man. These last Chiefs would be cool to revisit years from now. Most definitely. Because I'm going to look back at my song and be like, man, I was an interesting person. And I really had people in here. We was really just chatting. Just about to say he about to fall asleep again. Oh no, not yet. I am tired, but no, I was making sure I wasn't behind on anybody's information. I got this one gentleman named Dalo from this Discord server that I'm a part of, and he does like banners. Like if you go to my account page and you see the Wraith Hoops thing where it looks like the Galileo painting where the guy is reaching for the what is it? He's reaching for like the shining the sun, or I guess in that essence, was it God? It was like that. But that one was big. That was a good one. So I'm gonna probably have him make me one for my podcast, and then I'll probably use part of it for the actual photo for it. And I need one for my regular Wraith Hoops, the regular Wraith Hoops account that I'm gonna make. You said really like other NBA YouTubers, but none have the potential of Wraith. I appreciate that, man. Thinking about making a server when you get bigger? Yeah. So I have one kind of set up, but I was holding off on using it because I'm not quite big enough for it to be like a community thing. It'd probably have like, let's be realistic, like 20, 30 people in here. And I don't have the time to like run over the server and everything like that all the time. I appreciate you, bro. Dalo's such a great guy. I wonder if JC is the guy we need to trade for a veteran point guard. I like Sexton, Simone, and THT as our scorers off the bench, and Dunn is making a resurgence. Yeah. He said, yeah, everybody from the stream. Yep. Maybe like 20 of us in there. I'll probably just have to revamp it or like retool it because I call it, what do I call it? The personal server I have is called the Wraith's Den. So realistically, hang on, how do you share? How do you make it so that somebody can enter it? Message request, edit server profile, create channel, create category, create event, browse channels, invite. That's what I'm looking for. Let me think. Share an invite. How do you do it? What if I send it? If I send it here. All right, cool. Here we go. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Hang on. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. I don't know if you'll actually be able to click on the link, but I'm gonna drop that in the chat. I haven't used this server in forever and a half, but it's my spot. Because it has some members from this old podcast I used to watch called This Is Not a Cult. It had Young Don the Sauce God and Will Thorough. But I had those boys. I had a couple people from that one. So I was like, gotta make it interesting. Oh, y'all hopped in there fast. Hello, gentlemen. Pleasure to have you with us. But yeah, man. It's always good stuff. Gotta enjoy life for what it's worth. You know? Cause you're a fool. I just saw what you posted. I just saw what you dropped in there. But yeah, man. With that being said, I actually do need to lay down and at the very least pretend to sleep for a few hours. Because I know I'm about to get eaten alive. once this day actually starts. But oh wait, hold on. Sachin actually DM'd me and I didn't get the notification. Okay. Did he send the video then? I didn't see the video notification. Well, there should be a video about lottery marketing coming up on today for the page. So we'll see how that shakes out, but got to give it a little bit of time. That's all. Just a little bit. But yeah, man, I got to hit y'all with a classic outro because I know a couple people will. There's actually a couple people that watch the streams all the way through, like the VODs. Somebody really watched like the 3-hour VOD from yesterday's all the way through. I was like, wow, you really rock with the gang. I love it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kuzi. Wow was right because 3 hours. I mean, realistically, I watch some streamers, like your rages and those people when they're depending on what they're actually watching. I might tune in and just like watch the entire VOD all the way through. Also, when I'm at work, because like, who wants to go to work and be at work for real? Nobody. It just helps time pass faster. Plus, I get to keep up on like more common things. But that said, thank you boys for hanging around, staying for the live stream. The Jazz got a win today. It was really smooth. Things were always enjoyable. Game finished a little closer than we wanted it to be, but we saw a lot of positive things from a lot of guys, namely Collin Sexton, Fontecchio, and who was our lovely third goldfish, Taylor Horton-Tucker, who started at point guard in the stead of Keontae George. Also saw some bright spots from Taylor Hendricks as well as Chris Dunn and Ochai Agbaji. So, with any luck, they will continue this. However, they do have a tough test ahead of them as they go to play the Kings on the road. With that being said, it's only a matter of time before we see what this team is truly made of and when they're at their full strength, no less. But in the meantime, in between time, we're just going to enjoy what we can and pop in on the live streams to make things happen. As always, it's been your boy Wraith Hoops. Thanks for tuning in live. As always, good morning, good evening, good night. No matter where you are on the globe watching, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. I saw what you said, by the way, Kuzi, about your age. I don't watch his. When I used to work at Zaxby's, I used to watch his streams all the time because he would go live at the same time as I was a manager. So when I would be counting cash and everything, I used to watch all his streams. But now I just catch like little videos here and there between him and Duke Dennis. They're my main watches. Every now and then I'll watch like some Agent Zero or some Legend of Winning. Entering overtime. I don't got it in me. Coach, I'm tired. Yeah. All right. Love you boys. I'll talk to y'all later.